Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Look out for we five-star hotel, highway to Posse as well. Seaport reconstruction, roads remodification. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Dance up. Inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Just something red, wave it over your head. Some will never see the importance to give up for people assistance. So they have a problem with the clinic. Measures they want to block it. Imagine they get in office, what would be their wicked practice? It's for people who put you there. At all time you got to show you care. The party in a working mood, don't interrupt that mood. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The government helping squatters to get their land and quarters, helping people. Some of you have an issue. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. You better know inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Everybody, raise up something red, wave that over your head. Indeed, it is first time in our history people get medical for free. 18 and under and over 65. You shall never be deprived. Big focus on human resource, people well-being's compass. Universal education, scholarship and transportation. What a selfless party would reverse our country. Yeah. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Oh, but what a brilliant stadium. The region ruled all around. Improvement on all road networks. Airport beauty is no joke. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Everybody! Dancer, inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Put up something red, wave it over your head. Hey, hey, everybody, inshallah, no question, inshallah, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Hey, not white, not red, not yellow, not blue. Hey, let me see you shoot. Let me see you shoot. Show me how well you do. Inshallah, no question, inshallah. Raise up the red, wave it over your head. Everybody! Inshallah, no question, inshallah. Inshallah, no question, inshallah. Everybody! Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. All aboard! Where my people at? Are you ready? Ready. Here we go. Wait for me. Get them. Captain's carriage ring the bell and we ready to government endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody want shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing.
Don't leave me down, I want to be there. Plenty red in the atmosphere. You ready? Put your hands in the air. Ready and ready and ready and ready to do it again. In the sun or under the rain. Everyone on the Labour train. Ready and ready and ready and wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Shout it out if you on the train. Whoa! Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Everyone on the Labour train, yeah.
Great leadership is everything. So we're ready to vote Scarrow and the party. We don't want that bogus driver to get in. So we're ready to vote Scarrow and the party. To eradicate poverty. We take education seriously. We're taking care of the poor and the needy, cause they are part of the family. Hey. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cottage and Postman want shake. Bush and Fakers bash it. The train is passing through. Wesley and Marigot, who are we? Also the Carib territory. The train is passing through. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Everybody ready? We ready. Don't move. People on the road. On the train. Get up. Coming through. Make way. Ready. Ready. Lay back at over and therefore we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Roseau Central, Roseau North and South ready. Ready to vote back the LP. We going to transform Posse and Roseau, and we want the whole world to know. Coming from the struggle that we undergo. No Pakalaje PM Scarrow, no. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cassibus and La Plaine. Grand for on board, no complaint. The train is passing through. We did Saban and Grand Bay. La Pointe and Squad said okay. The train is passing through. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing.
Everybody wash on the Labour train.
You hear the chorus? Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Sing the anthem. Roseau Valley. Roseau Central. Roseau South. Roseau North. Sing the anthem. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yeah, my people. I wanna hear you sing. Yes, the Labour train. Young and old, sing the anthem. Everybody want say on the labor train. Yes, the labor train. Yeah, baby, I'm staying with labor. I'm so confused by the opposition. The UWP is pure confusion. Their leader buys votes at each convention, and their bubble list, in case you have missed, is too much to mention. So I'm voting Labour. I'm voting Labour on my ballot paper. Yes, I'm voting Labour all the way, and so is my neighbor. No doubt about it. Yes, I'm voting Labour, and my finger will show it. Ready, baby. And if they don't like it, they can put it in their pipes and they could smoke it. Yeah, baby. C'est bon les bas, Mohamed Tiwa. When they run this country, they almost broke it. Some wasted money, while others, they stole it. So I'm voting Labour on my ballot paper. I'm voting Labour. Yes, I'm voting Labour all the way, and so is my neighbor. Yes, I'm voting Labour. Be ready, baby. And my finger will show it. And if they don't like it, they can put it in their pipes and they could smoke it. Yeah, baby. So I'm voting Labour. I'm voting Labour on my ballot paper. And if they don't like it, they can put it in their pipes and they could smoke it. C'est bon les bas, Mohamed Tiwa. Et si vous pas aimé, vous pouvez mettre un pipio et femelle.
Yes, c'est bon les bons, mon kamete ti quoi là. Si yo pas aimé, yo ke mete yanda pipio avec yo ke fime. Want to say a special good evening to you wherever you are joining us across Dominica and throughout the world. It is indeed another Saturday evening right here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. I want to say a special welcome to our listeners in St. Lucia, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the folks who are joining us in the United States and Canada. I want to say a special welcome to you in Guadeloupe, Martinique, France. Bonsoir, bonsoir. Of course, to the folks who are joining us throughout the eastern side of the island, I want to say a special good evening to you. I want to shout out Desi and family, and to all the folks in Dalis, Mr. Barron and Mr. Evelyn, good evening to you, and the Etienne family. And of course, to all the folks in La Plaine and Boudica, I want to say good evening to Grand Fond and Monjon and Rivière Civic. I want to shout out the folks in the Kainago territory who are joining us as well. Don't forgetting all the good folks in Cassie Bruce. A special good evening to you. The folks in Marigot. I want to say a special shout out there to Wesley and Woodfordville, Calibishi. All the folks in Benz, Ansdime, not forgetting the good folks who are joining us in Penville. Yes, a special good evening to Vekas and Thibault, the folks in the Cottage constituency. Not forgetting Posse Massive. Good evening to you. Good folks in Collioure, Dublin, and Bioche. Want to say a special good evening to all the folks who are joining us in Salisbury, Coolibis Tree, Montrachet. As we come on the West Coast, want to shout to the folks in Mero and St. Joseph. Not forgetting our folks in Maho. A special good evening to you in Maho, Massac, Kenfield. Yeah, all the folks in Campbell and Despo who are always listening. Sylvania. The folks in Penrice, want to say good evening to you in Sultan. Want to shout out all our folks in Roseau North constituency. Yeah, want to big you up there in Roseau Central, where today we had the opening of our carnival, and things was just the city came to life today. Yes, as we into the carnival season. So I want to say big up to all the patrons and all the folks who are came out today to support the opening of carnival and who are looking forward to a wonderful carnival season, yeah, man, and a peaceful one too. So I want to say a special big up to all of you and who are, of course, contributing one way or another to the beautiful nature island, Dominic. I want to shout out my son and family over there in St. Lucia. They are, of course, tuned in and listening. See me. Good evening to you, my boy. Of course, good evening again. I want to shout out to our political leader, Dr. Skerritt and family, and all of the cabinet ministers and senators, and the folks who are joining us also on the Kyrie FM Facebook page. We want to say good evening to you and welcome. My brother Clarence is here with me. My brother Clarence is not in studio with us, but I want to say good evening to him. Clarence, good evening, brother.
Good evening, Simeon. Good evening. Good evening to all our listeners. It's a warm Saturday evening, opening of Carnival, and the tongue was filled with patrons, and Simeon, I had to pack right up on High Street. So when you're living, you had to give me a ride up there. So it was very, very tight getting back in. So good night, everyone. Good night to all my friends whom I normally call. Tonight we're going to keep the calling short because we have quite a lot to discuss. So
give you a big up.
So let me big up to my friend Mr. Wallace and his family up there. Good evening to you. Let me say hello to Wapi and his wife down there in Bioche. Wapi, good night to you and Bioche. And my friends in Collioure, Mr. Peter. I couldn't make it this Saturday morning. I intended coming down Collioure this Saturday morning, but I couldn't make it. So probably next Saturday. And good night to all the folks who we normally meet on Saturday mornings by the bay, by that bar down there by the bay. So good night to all of you. and Zetma, good night, and so on. So my friends in Fosséjean, Bagatelle, Pichelay, good night to you, everyone in Point Michel, Ayel and his wife, Point Michel, good night, and Jean-Dé Baïkad and Jean Pori, special good night to you. In Soufrier, Scott's Head, Valence, and the rest, Valence, Mr. Brong, and Vina, good night to you. Good night. Good night, everyone. My Prosper sisters up there, good night, and Reverend Father Thomas, Monsignor Thomas, good night to you.
You want to also touch Mr. Monroe as well up there in Bellevue, and I want to shout out Annette Bates up there in Wallace, of course. Jean Bougostel, Sakafet Gassa, I want to wish you a splendid evening and a wonderful weekend there as we go through this weekend. Yes, Clarence, it's as we said, the carnival season is opening again. It's a busy season. It's always a very busy season when you have the carnival season open, and many people come from all over the world to join us in this festive season, and I have no doubt that this season will be just as you know. I heard some of the commentators saying in Roseau today. I didn't make it to tongue because I stayed on rest. Was not 100%, so I'd take some rest before I come here. But I heard the commentators saying that the turnout was wonderful today. And, lots of people participated in this opening. And I noticed there have been some changes to the opening as well. And so, of course, improvement is something that, people sometimes criticize, oh, what should be and what should not be. But as you know, if you listening, then you can make the product a better product. And I have no doubt today was a lot of companies participated. And from what I saw, it was a wonderful opening. So big up to all those who made it possible. And we look forward to the season. No doubt the Calypso is coming up, Clarence.
Yeah.
And I know it will be interfering with some of our Saturdays, but that's the normal thing that happens whenever we are in the carnival season, and so I know we all are prepared for it anyway.
It's a short season, so we won't miss too much.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes because
because
we'll always let the listeners know what's happening. I want to say good evening to Senior Council and family, and to all the contributors to the program. Mami, good evening to you. Wherever you are listening, I want to say a special good evening to everybody. Of course, I'll open up the telephone lines 4487-338, 4487-337. You can call us and let us know where you are listening from, 245-2929. Of course, the WhatsApp line that you can also reach us on. Clarence, it's been another interesting week this week. The Prime Minister, of course, visited the international airport site. I know we wanted to be there ourselves, because I have been longing to pay a visit to the international airport site, but we had some other matters that neither of us could be there. But I know you, of course, often get to visit this area and the improvement and the tremendous work that is going on there. I listened to the Honorable Dennis Charles, also Prime Minister Skerrit. We will play some of what that was said, Prime Minister Skerrit said during the visit, because from what I'm seeing, even today I was looking at the vehicles that were traveling to the airport, taking up a number of heavy iron. I'm telling you, serious metal columns and beams and of course, and you from the photographs we have seen so far, you can see that work is progressing there, in a positive way. So with all the challenges, things are progressing well.
Yes, Simeon, I have always been reporting to the people when I come down because I am basically on the international airport side of some every week, some twice a week. Mm-hmm. I am up there and seeing the progress. Mm-hmm. And I can remember coming here and telling people a plane can land there on the dirt.
Yeah, I remember you always saying that.
and you see, people see it now, that a plane can in fact land, mm-hmm. And it is wide, and then the tunnel is going on very well, mm-hmm. and you can see the way they're doing it, Simeon. They put a center thing. There's a center barrier, mm-hmm. So when you're on your side, you cannot go on the other side, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you won't be able to overtake. Mm-hmm. So basically, the work is going on very, 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 very good and quick on that center line. All the water, the water thing, the drains mm-hmm. have been completed and so on, and so they now just doing the tunnel. And basically, the airport, the runway is virtually almost 90-95% complete. Mm-hmm. I say complete.
I just received some notes there from one of our comrades who said that the buildings currently under construction, the cargo special parking shed, the buildings with complete superstructure, fuel frame, and
fuel
farm, yes, and you have the building, what the security gates and so forth. You also spoke about the how is that, Clarence? I saw some photographs of it, but myself have not really gone there. Which is the tunnel itself. I realize that some massive work is taking place on that particular area.
Simeon, I think they started the tunnel in if I can remember, probably at the beginning of last month. Mm-hmm. So in 2 months, work, you can see the quantum of work, because those work is happening up there 24/7.
Right.
Wrong the clock, no stop.
Right.
People work by shift. When one shift finishes, another one comes in, and the work continues. Mm-hmm. And then So those of you who see the videos, you see the runway. So when we're talking about the stones, the aggregate stones for the runway, imagine all this area you see on the runway has to be compacted with the stones.
Yeah.
The stones, and the stones they're looking at is they have to have the density, not the stones, the aggregates we take in to build our houses and things. So these are density, what we used to call in local parasite. I don't know if you know that in wash fair. You know, you know that type also. You heard that before, Simeon?
Yeah, of course, man.
Wash fair. So they're looking for the wash fair to have so that when the plane land on that, it wouldn't turn into powder. So that is what the stones they are looking for, and the area they wash have that stones in quantity.
So how are things progressing there? Have they actually begun mining there in terms of?
No, they're still setting up the place. I think probably by February they should start mining and crushing stones up there. So basically that is it. So you can when you look at the vast and everything down there has to be laid with this type of stone, especially the runway. And for people to know, you see all the cement that is going on there where the vehicles were traveling on the runway, all that is compacted with cement already. The soil and the cement compact. So that's why you can see it looking level and flat.
Right.
And so on. So when you come, they put these stones on it, the aggregates, on the entire area, and then they put the tarish, the same crushed tarish on it, roll it and things so, and then asphalt, put the asphalt on it.
Yes.
So it will be at a certain level.
But things not slowing down.
But things not slowing down, Simeon. Things are moving on, and they are about between 6 and 10% ahead of schedule in all areas.
That's
the
great.
Building, the terminal building, the FBO. The FBO is the private terminal. So you're going to have a private terminal with the VIP lounge upstairs. Also, the terminal building, passenger terminal, would have some VIP lounge there also. Different airlines normally have their VIP lounges. So if you're traveling with American normally have its own VIP lounge.
Right.
United and those other airlines have their own VIP lounge. So you would have the airlines renting their own VIP lounge and so on and so on and so forth. So all that is coming into play and shaping up, Simeon, for grand opening by October 2027.
2027, yes, sir. Yeah, I believe I heard one of the developers speaking to that, and so. But you know, Clarence, you know, I meet couple people who are, you know, I call them those who would like to see Dominica fall. You know, like one guy met me yesterday, he told me, you know, Dominica finish, Dominica dead. You know, I responded by saying, well, as far as you can see, Dominica will not die. You know, we will die. You know, we will, I responded by saying that we will come to pass. You know, but Dominica will continue to be Dominica because, you know, there are some people out there who would like to see the airport project fail. They would like, and it troubles me to see that our citizens sometimes don't look after what is the interest of Dominica, because one of the things that the common word I hear in those days is what is in our country's interest, and that is coming up very often because, you know, with all what's happening with the United States and all what's happening within the region and the world by extension, you know, it's all about looking after one's interests. And I'm saying we in Dominica have to be careful that those who want to use social media and put all kind of posts, like for example this evening there, you know, some people were sending me some posts that our own citizens were posting on social media about our country, our prime minister, saying all sorts of propaganda, lies. You know, like one person sent me a post where they say that you know, our government is involved in trafficking of drugs and all kind. And I'm like, I say, but you know, where you all get these kind of things from? You know, people those days they feel at liberty to just use, whether it's AI they're using or whatever form of communication they're using on social media, to really distort. And then it hit me that maybe at some point, you know, governments are going to have to look at regulations to regulate what people can post. I'm not saying that you have to impose on people's right, but you know, you cannot call for killing a person, for example, on social media. You know, I think there was a particular post a guy put up there, and but the guy is a Dominican citizen, is in St. Lucia. I met the guy up there just recently when I was up there, and but I understood he had to pull it down because the gravity of what was being stated in the post is like as if you know, people are going a little too far. You know, our citizens in wanting to fight against our own development, because an international airport is something that many governments wanted to build for Dominica. Europe, it's not like they didn't want to build an airport. Europe wanted to build an airport. It was part of their plans to build an airport. The truth about it is they did not have the means of raising the money like Labour Party is doing to build the airport. I mean, we know the commitment that they put this country under with the premise of building an airport, and Dominicans saw nothing where that was concerned. And so now that Labour is building it, and Labour is building it through the Citizenship by Investment program, it's like whatever that's happening now in the world today, there are those who are worshiping, praying. It's like they go to bed praying for us to get up with bad news tomorrow. You know, one guy with me tell me just now the CBI, well, he tell me the CBI dead already. You know, it's like as if it dead, and happy with a joy, you know, telling me that. And I'm saying, but you know, these UWP people has to understand that when this airport is built, if one day, God forbid, UWP come in power, the airport will be there, you know. You know, Labour not going to take the airport if, God forbid...
Put it in your briefcase and then put it for when Labour come back.
One day when Labour not in power, Labour not going to take the airport with it and say, we go in with the airport, you know. No, the airport remains a property of the citizens of this country. It is, and we know that the airport that is being constructed is a state of the art. It is something that for generations and generations, they won't have to worry themselves about, because this government, you know, is doing it properly. You know, it have sometimes you can do things once, and that's what Prime Minister Kite was saying, is that you can, Dominica we could have gone forward and used the location where the UWP had, bearing in mind that you could only use instrument on one side of the runway and not both sides of the runway. Whereas the current site that we are using, it allows us to be able to use instruments on both sides of the runway, and you can see when you look at the photographs how this thing is really taking shape, and why this site was an appropriate site for the airport. So those who praying for the death of the CBI and praying that you know and I heard Thompson Fontaine on one of those occasions talking about all what's happening and blaming the citizenship program for as the cause for all what is happening to us with reference to the US and other you know, things that's happening. And I'm saying to myself, but soon after I heard him again talking on another program saying that there is more to that than the CBI. And I'm saying, you see, these fellows, they pretend in some cases to always want to blame the CBI for everything. But we know that the entire Caribbean country right now are all looking forward to the CBI to help these countries with their growth and development. Grenada has planned to build its infrastructure. They have an international airport, but they are relying on the citizenship program to help them with their development. St. Lucia, right now, like Dominica, do not have oil and do not have all these other stuff. They are relying on the citizenship program for many of the capital projects and other things that they are implementing in their country. We saw recently that, of course, Ralph Gonzalez, who was running in St. Vincent for a number of years, as soon as the people chose another government, right now, we see the first thing that they are doing is looking at the CBI with all the challenges that's going on. But they are telling their people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that the citizenship program, of course, is a program that they can rely on at this time because they are seeing what the other islands are doing. And so here in Dominica, we have to protect that program, Clarence. It is a vital program because when you look at the international airport right now, if we do not have the citizenship program to complete the international airport, to complete the cable car and the marina, and we know that there are plans on the way to build the cruise village as well as building a larger port for us to be able to, accommodate larger ships. If the CBI is not there to do that, then what does that mean? The government may well have to end up borrowing money. And when the government borrow money, it only means that the citizens of the country will end up paying higher taxes. And we know that our Prime Minister talk about the government's intention at some given point in time is to completely get rid of personal income tax, is to get rid of certain taxes and to allow people to have more money in their pocket. But the citizenship program is one of the reasons why the government would be able to do that, because that program is helping with many other areas where the government have to be less reliant on the direct tax to carry out this undertaking. So those who believe that that they must rejoice when they see challenges ahead, what we have to do is pray. Is pray for God's guidance and protection over the land and for us to accomplish those things, because for the first time in the history, in the 47 years of Dominica independence, it is the first time that we are seeing such major undertaking on this piece of land by any given government in the history of Dominica. It's the first time that the government have a development plan for this country that include all of the various subsectors, and to be able to transform this country in a way where people will want to stay here, work here, and be able to satisfy themselves that we are just as competitive as many of our other islands. Because if you do not have an international airport, you still, not seen as really being as competitive because of what the type of flights that we can accommodate. So I think that we are living in a different time now in the world. The world is very unstable right now. Everything is shaky and rocky right now. And when you living in that type of rocky time, you have to be able to navigate properly in order to survive. Otherwise, serious difficulty and hardship can fall on the citizens of the country. We see what's happening in Venezuela. We see what's happening with Cuba. We see what's happening with other parts of the world. I was recently reading an article where the Prime Minister of Canada, while in negotiation with the U.S., got up and walked out, out of the negotiation because Canada felt like nobody was going to bully them. And so the world is and so nobody's really going to just come to your aid. We don't have much friends outside there that can just come and tell you, look, $100 million, like back in the days when we were going through the stabilization program, Clarence, and Hugo Chavez came and said, well, look, $100 million, not a loan but a grant to help the citizens.
Yep.
Not you think the U.S. will give us $100 million tomorrow?
Well, I'm not saying. Right.
So we have to always, as citizens, stand on the side of Dominica. And we have to always, be in support of the development of this country. You can like a man, you can don't like him, but at the end of the day, the other thing saying, leke shoy bon, di bon, and that is what I think we have to call on our citizens to do at this crucial time. I mean, as I always say, we know what it is to operate in rough times. The Labour Party knows that very well. We have been through rough times. I don't think after the way Maria struck this country like an atomic bomb, we were able to survive it, and bring ourselves back up and have people, living in more resilient homes, and we're able to transform it. So I have no doubt that whatever the challenges are, our political leader continue to, drive this country in the right direction and remain focused on what Dominica needs in order to really make Dominica become more competitive in the world we live in today. And so the UWP, who does not have a vision, does not have a plan, I mean, they sit on the side, and it's easy for them. because they don't have to get up tomorrow morning and build nothing like they have not been doing for all of the years that they have been there, except looking for themselves, which is what we know that they have been very good at. But no doubt, Clarence, the international airport is something that is crucial, and we have to pray for the next couple of years for us to see that through, because we are almost there, Clarence.
Yes, Simeon, we have to see it through, and then basically, with the opposition, they would want to see everything come to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
The CBI come to a halt, so the airport will come to a halt, and they will say, "We tell you so," or they steal the money. That's what they would want to use.
Yeah.
But things are moving on. I mean, I have never seen people so unpatriotic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like those who follow the United Workers' Party. They don't read. They do not know what is happening. A situation where all 10 islands. Let's look at the refugee thing. 10 islands had already signed the agreement to pick up, because already what Trump will do.
Well, I think according to the research now, there are 14 islands that
14
islands that have signed
onto this.
Mm-hmm.
So who is Dominica? Literally, you can stand up and say you're not signing it.
No,
already, basically, the visa thing is not about CBI. It is not about CBI, because if it was about CBI, it would have been on the other islands that have CBI. You do not have to go back. I do not have to go back to school, to Pichlin school, to learn 2 + 2 is 4. The clear thing, the 2 OECS islands that have strong diplomatic relations with China, the People's Republic of China, is Jamaica and Antigua. And both Rubio and Trump, Rubio has made it clear. He made it clear when he came from Guyana, talking about the roads, about how the Chinese building roads and building poor quality roads and so on. He said so in Jamaica. He said so in Jamaica when the Chinese with the Belt and Road building roads in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. He said so. Mm-hmm. So their aim is to get those of us in the region that have diplomatic relations with China to break those diplomatic relations with China. Jamaica, Dominica, Barbados, Guyana. These are the countries, Antigua.
Yeah.
With diplomatic relations with China. So everything they're doing. So it's a bullying effort, but you have to be able to navigate it. You have to be able to navigate what is happening, and this is not the time when your opposition should be fighting you down. This is when every time everybody have to get together in one spirit. Look at what Cuba has done for us with our training in every aspect of life in Dominica, Cuba. Given the situation they are in. Look, yesterday and today, the Americans have placed 2 warships close to the northern border. They cannot get oil, fuel. So our students and other students and the Cuban people are at the benevolent of the mercy of now Mexico, the lady in Mexico, taking on the US, saying, okay, and sending fuel for Cuba, because they cannot get fuel in thing. This is the situation we in the world that is happening. And yesterday I read a nice piece from the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Bruce Golding. Mm-hmm. And mark you, Bruce Golding is of the Jamaica Labour Party, which is the sister party of the Freedom Party. Mm-hmm. In their Democratic Unity. Wrote a serious piece. And when he finished, he said, he's lamenting, I am 78 years now, and I was hoping to go to see my maker, to see the transformation that is taking place in my country and in the region. Mm-hmm. And to see all of this is going to go down to naught with the advent of Trump in the US. And that's what he said. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who would be an ally of his party would be an ally of the United States. And today, I have never heard people. We are all these guys who were the Affis, the Gabriels, the all those guys to condemn what is happening to Cuba.
Clarence, none of them are going to do that because you see, some of these guys, they were. We mustn't forget, that there was a time when UWP and those who live in the United States, come together to form alliance, to say that they go into Washington, to speak with senators and whoever, all in an effort to try to undermine this government, to undermine the citizenship program, and the message in which they were conveying to these people were not about supporting Dominica, or about getting any positive help for this country, they were always on a mission to try to see if they could get the intervention of the United States in really bringing about a negative, what they would say, like black eye in the country all the time. And that's one of the things that that they have been doing for a number of years. I always used to say that when you have citizens of the country who would seek to undermine the economy of the country by trying to get foreign intervention in it. So when you see you have a program, for example, like we have seen, for example, like after Maria, when the Prime Minister negotiated with the World Bank for us to be able to give our farmers a grant, because a number of our farmers lost everything they had to the hurricane. And so the government decided the fisher folks who were fishing, who could not fish, people who had, so they were giving them a startup grant of up to $3,000 and $10,000 to commence. What did UWP do? They wrote to the World Bank and trying to tell the World Bank all kind of malpractice without any evidence of what they were saying. And so rather than saying, boy, thanks God that we are able to give the farmers a grant to help them to go back and cultivate the land, they went and write to the institutions. And when you do these things, if the institutions were to listen by any chance, because you never know what can happen, listen to what they are saying, that could mean that, like what we saw happening in the days of the UWP, where no money at all would be coming to Dominica. And whether you apply to those institutions for help or not, they could choose not to help the country, because we know in the days of UWP, because of how they were managing the money that was being given to them from these institutions, the World Bank, the EU, and those organizations, that they had basically stopped giving them money. And when you stop getting money, it means that the economy of the country begins to struggle, and the government itself, will have a greater challenge in managing the affairs of the state. And so they have been known for many years to go there. That's why I remember when Lennox Clinton went to Guyana, the famous time when he went to Guyana and they went on the tarmac. Remember that famous time where what was he going there for? He wasn't going there because he was seeking to find ways in which UWP as a party could get some help for Dominica. He went there only with one mission, was to again get the Caribbean to listen to him with an effort to undermine our programs that we have. The same can be said when the UWP went on 60 Minutes and had an opportunity where many people across the world was listening to them, and instead of promoting Dominica in a positive way and saying the things that could help advance the country's economy, rather than taking that step, when they're basically having press conferences and talking to a country that is foreign to us, about our domestic politics in Dominica and bringing it there and wanting to really to the point where the man ended up in a car that he didn't belong to and that wasn't for him, and basically push himself into trying to undermine the very programs that we have. And so there have been numerous attempts. And what is strange today is that the UWP will tell you that they want to depend on the very citizenship program if Dominicans were to give them a chance in office. And I'm like, why make all that extra effort to destroy something that you as a political party believe that if the people were to give you a chance in office that you would come and depend on it. So when you destroy it, what is there for the country after that? And so, you know, this is one of the reasons why that all the efforts that have been made by the Caribbean, the OECS countries, those who are involved in the citizenship program, to really come together to strengthen it and to operate it on a standard that can be respected right across the world is a wonderful thing, because it is all in an effort, because these OECS leaders understand how vital the citizenship program is. Because every country, Clarence, you research across the world have a program. Even if they are multi-millionaires and there are billions of dollars and trillions of dollars circulating in the economy, yet still they see the need. America have maybe 300 million people, but America still believe it needs to have a program that will be able to give people citizenship. Or they just simply have to put $1 million into their economy, and they can have their gold card, you know, with Donald Trump's face on it, you know, because why? They believe that that is a program that will bring money to their economy. So if all of the trillions they have, they still have their programs, even if you see they're throwing people out of their country. But if you come with $1 million, you can qualify to have a gold card, $1 million US, and find yourself investing in the US economy. So we in Dominica have to understand that we cannot allow those who are haters of development to come and try to play in our minds, you know. And as you said, Clarence, initially about this refugee thing, if Dominica did not sign on to it, what would have happened? You know, the great Mayor Motley in Barbados once said that that they get blacklisted for simply maybe not writing a letter. You know, because you have the OECD going around and they're doing whatever they're doing with their financial task force. They're asking you to do evaluations on various areas of your sector. And if a letter not written or you have not received a response from the sector, or you are not satisfied that you have completed what you are doing to give them the feedback, they blacklist you. You know, so when they blacklist the country, what that means, it affects your financial sector. It affects the flow of money in and out of your country, because, you know, correspondent banks don't want to do business with you because they think you are blacklisted. So Dominica, and I have always said for many years that we are just a little fish in the big ocean, you know, but everybody have to survive. But we are a little fish.
When you see a little fish, not a dolphin, you know. A little mowing.
A balau then.
It is smaller than balau.
You know?
Because talking about that, I can remember Mia Motley, after all these sanctions and the things, so
yeah.
After the Russian crisis and things, so when they begin to send, when they were looking for the money launderers and things, so Mia Motley was addressing the Congress in the US.
Yes.
And he said, here it is. An ordinary Bajan mechanic cannot open a bank account just like this.
Yes.
But when all you, because all for money laundering, but when all you were looking for the billions and the millions, all you didn't come to the Caribbean.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Billions and millions were not placed in any of the countries of the Caribbean.
No.
They were in Luxembourg, they were in London, they were in New York, they were in all these places in Europe and the United States. That's where they were. That's where they were lodged. So how can somebody can walk in with $1 billion and lodge it in your bank account?
Yeah.
And you do not do any due diligence, nothing. They come and put it in your bank account. And the little mechanic who is by the road, he has a good day, he make $1,000, he cannot go and deposit it into a bank.
I mean it's
Simeon, this is the reality of the world.
That's why, Clarence, she also said that you have the countries that these OECD and, you know, the bigger countries come after is only the Commonwealth countries, you know. They don't go after Spain. They don't go after all of those countries where Europe was going and get their millions there. When they were making their deals on the sales of diplomatic passport, where Sam Raphael told us they collected their millions.
Okay.
Switzerland. You don't hear them going after Switzerland and going after the United Kingdom, UK, or they can't go after China because China's self is a world power by themselves. And so you don't hear them going after many of those other countries, but they come after the Commonwealth countries because why? These are the countries that they always took advantage of for many years, for many decades. And so they come after us. They come after our financial sector. There was once Dominica had a booming offshore banking sector. And you remember what happened? The offshore banking sector, I think it even started under the UWP days where we saw it took a boom, but then boom, it fell down on its bottom because why? They came after it with regulations and all sorts of policies and things like that. So we live in a world where, you always have to, we always pass in new laws to accommodate all what they are asking us to do. And this is one of the reasons why this is just another. It doesn't mean that Dominica, any refugee will come to, and a refugee is not a person who is necessarily a criminal, because I want to remind Dominicans that we were refugees once. If some people don't know that, when Maria struck this country, and a lot of Dominicans left Dominica after Maria, they were just boarding on those. I knew people in Kenfield who were waiting to board on helicopters and just to move into whether it's Canada or whichever island they were going to. And they opened up their doors to receive our people because the land was devastated in such a way that some Dominicans figure, well, to them, Dominica was looking like it was finished at the time. And the only thing that they saw was to take their family and to migrate to another country. And some of them did not come back. Some stayed there for up to a day like 2 days and established themselves there. But these countries open up. Now, those people who live in from Dominica to go to these countries were not criminals, but they were people who felt, hopeless at the time. They lost everything they had to the hurricane. And they saw an opportunity where even if the United States opened up, that they could go, that they left. Someone to St. Thomas, someone to the different islands. So being a refugee does not deem you to be a criminal. You could be a professional doctor. I have seen, for example, with all what that has gone on in Haiti, I have seen people who have escaped from Haiti come to Dominica.
A university graduates.
And doctors, professionals, I have had guys who work with me in the Kenfield Urban Council, even in my own factory, my furniture shop. And they would explain to me what is it that they were doing. They had a life there, they had a family, they had many things. But they feared for their life because of where they were living, and they just had to escape. And they're seeking for greener pasture somewhere else. And so they kept moving from one place to the other. And so these people are not necessarily, they can come and they can contribute in a significant way to your country's development in a very positive way. And I believe that one of the things about the disagreement is that I understand is that it's not like they're going to just send people to your country. The countries have to agree on who will come and who they will accept and so on. So by just signing the agreement, it's not a carte blanche thing where you just go in and send anybody to these islands. And I think it is the Prime Minister of St. Kitts, I heard speaking to the fact that they will be receiving people who are of the Caribbean who may not want to go to one island, but they can come to St. Kitts, and so on. So this is a thing. I mean, it's not like anybody may come or may not come, but like we are saying that Dominica could not see that out of the 14 countries that it is not going to sign. And so we have signed on to the agreement like we have signed on to many things over the many years.
But Simeon, what I know, those who are opposed the signing of the thing, let's assume UWP was in office. What would you have done? You have to say, this is what I would have done. You have 14 countries, or 13 or 14 in the Caribbean. All of them have signed, including Dominica. You are saying that the government should not send. Well, what would you have done? No, tell me. Okay, give the government the advice. This is what you should have done. Instead of signing, this is what you should have done. You should have done A, B, and C.
Yes, yes.
Because Antigua and Dominica were the last set of countries who signed, you know.
Yeah, I realize that.
Antigua and Dominica were the very last set of countries that signed.
Wasn't Grenada...
Grenada gave an alternative. Grenada gave an other proposal.
Yeah.
Right? And what they did to Grenada, they put so telling Americans to be extremely careful or they should not go to Grenada. Basically,
yes.
This is what they did. So, what would you have done?
Right.
If you were in government, what would you have done when all the other islands around you is signing, you holding back, and you don't sign?
They would have done the same thing, guys. I mean, it's not like as if they would have much of an option, and we know that. So when the UWP sit down and try to criticize this government and try to go out there trying to make political mileage with this thing to give the impression that that Dominica has done something wrong, you know, is absolute nonsense. And so we have to, as I said, pay attention to what's happening at home. We have very important things happening in our country today. As I said, the Labour Party is working to deliver to the people of Dominica, and no matter how many challenges that this island have faced, the DLP continue to do all what is necessary to make sure that the lives of the Dominican people can be better off, and that's what Prime Minister Skerrit is doing. You know, so this week, when we saw the visit to the international airport, again, it is a demonstration of where we are going, where we are heading, you know, and the importance, as I keep saying, of the citizenship program in making sure that that Dominica can really reach its milestone. And I believe that time goes by very quickly. And I would like for us to listen a bit to some of what Prime Minister Skerrit said during this visit to the international airport this week. Let's listen to some of what our Prime Minister had to say there. All right, let's listen here. Yeah, let me see if I can get this going there.
I'll see what's taking place, the kind of dramatic transformation that has taken place over the last couple of years. I mean, we all appreciate how difficult this site has been. The dramatic cotton field, earth movement, it has really been a real undertaking, considering our natural terrain. But we are all pleased with the progress thus far. The runway is basically settling. After this rainy season in 2026, they'll be ready to apply the surface, concrete and asphalt surfacing to the runway. The tunnel is under construction, and I understand it will be completed by October of this year. The tunnel will connect Wesley to Woodford Hill and of course to Portsmouth, as we have challenges in creating easier connectivity from Wesley across to Woodford Hill. So the tunnel will enhance that communication, and so we're moving on ahead of this. All of the on-site buildings are under construction. The terminal building, the FBO as a private VIP for private aircrafts, the fire service, customs, all of the necessary facilities under construction. My understanding from the schedule and from what the developers are saying to us, by November of this year, we will see a completion of all of the structures, and of course internal works will commence immediately thereafter. We're looking at a completion last quarter of 2027 for the airport. This is barring any unforeseen challenges, and we pray to God there will be none. This will be a major achievement, even to the point that we have gotten to thus far is a major achievement for the country. And one can only appreciate the kind of positive transformation that this airport will bring to Dominica. Just with the direct flights from Newark, New Jersey, and of course Miami, and with Contour Airlines and Caribbean Airlines, who have been facilitating improved air access to Dominica, we have seen an increase in stayover visitors in Dominica. And so this airport is going to be crucial to our continued efforts towards growing the economy, bringing in more foreign exchange in the country, creating jobs for people, creating opportunities for farmers and taxi operators and those who own car rental companies. And so if we can improve air access in terms of direct access to source markets, then we can appreciate this. This is a project, as you all know, that has been very elusive. It has evaded all previous governments. Every government, both pre and post our independence, has made the international airport a central theme in the offering to the people of Dominica. We had the challenge of not only seeking to build this airport, but also introduce night landing in Dominica. Because prior to me becoming Prime Minister, no plane could land in Dominica at night. There was no night landing, and we spent a significant amount of money on upgrading what you call now the Douglas Childs Airport, basically building a new terminal building, a new runway, extending the runway, and all of the associated facilities, a new fire service station, and all of the associated buildings and facilities that will need to be constructed. And just to say to people, Dominican people, after Erica, and this is how we have to put things in context, especially when people talk about this hasn't been done and this should be done, etc. After Erica, we spent $200 million to repair Douglas Childs because of the sheer damage that Erica caused to the airport. $200 million. After having built the airport was functioning, a natural disaster caused this to us. One can appreciate what you could do with $20 million, farmer for $200 million. We could solve a number of problems in Dominica with $200 million. That was to fix Douglas Childs after Erica. And so we always had the intention to build this airport. And we have always said to Dominicans that no bank in the world, except maybe a Chinese bank based on bilateral relations, but no international financial institution, not the World Bank, not the Caribbean Development Bank, no bank in the world is going to give Dominica money to build an airport. They're not going to do it. As St. Vincent got no money from the CDB, they got no money from the World Bank to the airport because they don't believe that they will be able to finance such a development project. And the question is, how do we finance an airport? Not being able to access a loan from any international financial institution of which you're members. And the only route you could go is a route by grants from a friendly government. And in our case, we decided to use the Citizens by Investment Program as a source of funding for this airport. And so without the Citizens by Investment Program, we would not have been able to finance the airport. That is point blank. Because you cannot borrow and you cannot tax people Dominica beyond what they can give to the government. So how do you finance it? And this is a challenge which previous governments have had. The cost of building an airport in this terrain is a tremendous cost. But we always remain committed to building this airport, and I'm happy that this Dominican Labour Party administration was able to define a strategy and a plan going forward for not only the construction of the airport, but crucially the financing of the airport. By the grace of God, when this airport is completed, current generations and succeeding generations of political leadership in the country and our citizens of the country will not be burdened with any loan repayment for this airport. But we will benefit from it dramatically and positively in the years to come. And so we have to start positioning ourselves as citizens to see what are the opportunities this airport will bring so that we can prepare ourselves for it. Do not wait for when it is completed and then we're trying to scramble to put things in place insofar as private citizens are concerned. This has been a huge impact on the economy during construction, and certainly it will be even more dramatic after completion. We say so with the greatest sense of humility. We are pleased that we were able to lead the process, as we've done in many other areas. I have had, in many instances, ready to build this country from scratch, from road infrastructure to health, through education, investments in agriculture, the creation of a small business unit to finance, provide grants to young entrepreneurs, or through loans at the aid bank at concessionary rates, housing, not only building homes but even replacing homes after so many natural disasters. When I became Prime Minister, I had to oversee the Structural Adjustment Program of the IMF from 2004 to 2006. Then we had a stop in 2007. We had another stop in 2010. We had one in 2013. We had one in 2015. We had one in 2017. Then COVID came. And then you had all the international financial crisis, the crash of the markets, the oil crisis. So literally my entire time as Prime Minister of this country, I've never had a break. And sometimes I ask the Lord, the Lord has challenged me like he did to Job. But I have been faithful, not only to the Lord but to the country, in pushing and ensuring that we can do what is right for the people of Dominica, so that we can create greater hope and confidence in ourselves, in our country, and our own contribution to Dominica. So we've never had a resting moment. We've had a lot of external shocks, natural disasters having to confront with. But every turn, the people of Dominica could know that they could go to bed, that they have the Labour Party in government, the leadership of the Labour Party in government, and that tomorrow will be better than our yesterday. And we thank God for that. And that's what we continue to offer, and this is where it is. There are many efforts have been made to derail the project, to stop it. A lot have been said and written. A lot of it is false, a lot of it is mischief, but we're pressing on. We can't be distracted as a country by negativity. We have a job to do, we have people's lives to mold, we have opportunities to create for so many people, and this is what we're seeking to do. So I'm very happy to be here. I want to thank MMC for partnering with us, for staying true to the partnership and the relationship, and to CR5 and all of the supporting staff from the Office of the Prime Minister, where the project is being executed from. I will not call names because there's so many people who played a part in the ministry, the folks on the Ministry of Lands, the folks on the Ministry of Agriculture, all of the various government departments, Ministry of Finance, the entire government system playing a part in different ways towards the realization of this very important project. What is left to the government's responsibility is to build the airport. It is left for the citizens of Dominica to take advantage of the opportunities, to position themselves. So you can't say what's Kerry doing for us. It's Kerry building the airport for us. No, what are the opportunities and the benefits of the airport? And so we have to position ourselves to take advantage of these opportunities. I can tell you, there are a number of foreign nationals who have shown interest in acquiring lands. I mean, there's a joint venture with us in a company, and somebody offered to buy over 100 acres of land from in this area. We've had to hold it back because there's some lands I believe should stay with the people of Dominica. But people are scouting, people are offering, people are looking to buy, all foreign nationals. Can we not put ourselves together in groups, in companies, and make an approach to the government to start putting the Airbnbs and the guest houses there for stayover people, etc., for airport staff and for airline staff, and there are a number of things that we believe we can position ourselves going forward. But this airport is going to touch the length and breadth of Dominica. Whether you're from Scottsett, where we rely on fishing, or in the valley, where we rely on tourism, or in Capuchin, where we rely on a mixture of tourism and agriculture, or in the Carnago territory, where we need people to come in to buy our craft, or the farmers in Marigot who are planting yams and dashing and who are rearing chickens and goats and so forth. Every single sector, every single sector of the economy is going to benefit directly from this airport. And so we will only see the benefit if we are positive and constructive. So I'm very excited to see that it is really taking shape, and it is, and I know as human beings we subscribe more to the doctrine of St. Thomas. Seeing is believing. Though the Bible tells us we must live by hope, but people rely on doctrine of St. Thomas. But I only see that boy. I don't want to show scared talking about the airport. You know, boy, you may see that thing there, boy. But now I believe that the majority of Dominicans recognize that whenever Scary promises something, that he delivers by the grace of God, and this is something we're going to deliver to people of Dominica. So we look forward to landing directly here in the next couple of years, and we can only look to the mountains and to the skies for opportunities. So.
Yes, Clarence, of course, you know, Prime Minister Scary said a lot there. You know, on that visit to the international airport, the opportunities that are there. I mean, he just spoke about the number of foreigners, and that is something that he's saying even the government had to slow down on, because obviously these people are seeing the opportunities that are coming with the construction of the international airport, and the citizenry have to know their position. But he talked about the fact that there have been many efforts to attempts to derail the project, Clarence.
Simeon, many efforts by locals, many persons. They keep on saying, when the airport started, actual construction started, people were saying, is not airport going to build, no airport going to be built.
Yeah.
Because when I first went up there, Simeon, when the offices were completed, and I first went up there, all I was seeing is mountain, you know, and I was asking myself, where does the airport going? Where the runway going to pass? Where the thing? And I saw during those years, man, on both local and Chinese, because there are a set of our local guys who worked the excavators, right?
Yes.
And then they were on the mountains, cutting down the mountain, filling the valleys, making roads into the valleys, cutting down. I saw all the tunnels that were being built, 5 of them. I was digging 140 feet to put the waterways, the tunnels, the water tunnels.
Yes.
Because there are some of them a backhoe can drive into it.
Right.
To carry the water under 140 feet.
Yes.
I saw the backfill in.
Yes.
And today, when I look and see, I see in the runway has taken shape.
And when you look at some of the videos that were taken there, and for the folks who have access to social media, of course, you can always look at the GIS, and you can look at the Prime Minister's page. You will always be able to see some real-time videos. You can really see, Clarence, that major work has gone there over the past year.
Simeon, one thing I can to know the egg thing, if you knew where this guy Garnet Didier house was.
I knew because I when I went up there, you know, a couple of the guys were showing me the area where his property was. Yes.
Nobody would know that has become a flat piece of a flat area that has been flattened, virtually flat.
Yeah. And so that
the valleys.
Let's take a call there, Clarence, because the telephone going. Let's see who's there first. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good evening to you, Simeon.
Good evening to you. Good evening.
You listen to the Prime Minister tonight there. And you know he always put God in everything and prayer.
Yes, ma'am.
You started into how many years you carry on that program?
Yeah, it's over 20 years, mommy.
Over 20 years. Okay? And you know you started with prayer.
Yes.
And you remember, we the callers used to pray. I even used to read Psalms and scriptures on that program.
That's true.
In the time of Mr. Astafani and the lawyer. Nowadays, you come up with people tonight, but Christian just cut off and put his program and talk. But if we don't put God first, we're not going to survive. When you're going to have your meal, you don't give thanks to God and praise Him.
We always pray, ma'am. Even when you think you're not praying, we're praying too.
Well, we have to pray always.
We all. That's why I always call for all of us to pray. So all of us are prayer warriors. Yeah. So Mr. Christian prays too.
I don't know what you say.
No, don't say you don't want prayer. You can't say that.
Did I say I didn't want prayer, mommy?
You can't say that. I asked for callers to call and you didn't call early, so we start our discussion, mommy, and I would like you to respect that. Okay, thank you. Yeah. No, you didn't cut it off, mommy. That is an allegation you're making there. That is false. I would like you to apologize to him for that.
No, I cut off the program. He didn't cut it off.
No, he didn't cut it off, mommy. I coordinated the. Mommy, listen to me for a moment. Okay? I coordinated the program. I opened up the line, the calls didn't come in, so we started the discussion. All right? So you call now. Don't go down that road. If you want to make a contribution, make the contribution, please.
I heard you was not feeling well. I heard you
Yeah,
say
so just make the contribution. Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that debate.
I have to call you to give you the blessing for you to be strong.
Yes, but you can just give the blessing and don't get yourself into confusion. Okay, please. Mm-hmm.
God is not also confusion, but he wants people to speak the truth and to be truth and to praise him.
Yes, we know that.
So anyway, I say good evening to my doctor, Dr. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Dear Mommy, have something to tell you. That is between you and I. And may God continue to bless, guide, protect, and direct you, your entire family. And keep up the good work. No weapon that form against you will never prosper. Because God is in control. He has chosen you to be the leader of this country, and you have been doing a fantastic job. That is all I am telling you, to look over your shoulders, because Christ chose 12 to follow him, spreading him, okay? You chose 21, and you will always have enemies, but pray always and look over your shoulders, and I claim that precious blood of the Lamb of God from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. And I call in on Michael the Archangel to defend you in the day of battle. Be your protection and guard against the ways and the wickedness of those devils. May God rebuke them, I humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heaven, you, by the power of God, drag down into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl in through this land, seeking the ruin of souls. May God continue to bless, guide, protect, and direct us in this land of Dominica and all over the world. He gave his blood for everyone and the whole world, so let us claim it in his name. And thank the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit again for blessing us and making us see a new year. We do not know what the year will bring, but at least we begin the new year. So let's give praise at every time, every hour, every minute, every second.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yeah.
I listened on Facebook there tonight, and I listening to an idiot saying, "Oh, he's so dumb and he's so dumb." I don't know that idiot. Maybe he never go to school and he could understand nothing. He's so dumb and so smart. They look at dumb and he's dumb. Oh, he come, and he laughing. And this guy laughing at his own calamity. If he listening to the program, you can say, Mommy say he's an idiot. And he knows nothing about Dominica. So he laughing at his own calamity. Because who laugh last, laugh the best. And a lot of things is happening in Dominica. He doesn't listen, he doesn't hear. That is where he living. But if I would see him face to face and him come up and talk with nonsense in my ears, I would tell it to him as it is. But he's just an idiot on Facebook, and if you want to be heard of sin, go to church and go and repent. That's what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, PM, you've been doing a fantastic job. Today I sat down and I listened and I watched on Kyrie, and I saw the opening of Carnival. It was fantastic. It was great. I saw my Prime Minister wife when Oprah was wrong and the lady in Kyrie was talking to her. It was so sweet. And everything went on time. I just hope the carnival went off just the same way, no problem. Everybody come and enjoy themselves, have a good time, and go home in peace, the peace of Christ. And make sure all you confirm. Those who came from overseas, try to confirm before going back. Because Dominica is all you home. No matter where you all are, Dominica is all you home. And I'm saying those people that behind the PM, those kind of idiots that behind the PM, now they coffee saying Awina and talking about airports, talking about the trails, talking about the promote. Now they see that as they go around say nothing is happening. But now they see things is happening and they come in like shit in wolf clothing. Wolf in sheep clothing. But tell them they can come as much as they want. They will not stop us in this country. Labor rights, wherever you all are. Please continue to pray. Pray for all the countries. Pray for the Prime Minister, all the ministers and senators of the government who are doing a fantastic job. Those who don't want to perform, we'll say goodbye. But if they're ready to perform, we will have them there. I heard people hate you because you want to go up. If I give you this story.
Thank you, mommy. Thank you, mommy.
You know what's going on?
Thank you, mommy. That's enough discussion. We'll move to the next topic now.
But anyway,
yeah.
He's a powerful speaker on our program for years, and no one can beat you. So keep on being strong. Keep on praying. Keep on talking for your country and your Prime Minister. You've been doing a fantastic job, and God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Drive safely tonight. I cannot do much tonight.
We'll do. Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll talk.
All right, you take care, mommy, and have a wonderful night. Thank you for your contribution here tonight, as you always do, and I always look forward to you, of course, praying, because I always believe that with prayers we can move mountain. If we stand together as a people. There is a lot that we can achieve, and as we speak here tonight of the international airport, which is one of the largest project in this land, and Clarence,
the history of the country.
Yeah, one of the things the Prime Minister said is that every political party in Dominica, whether in government or out of government, always had an international airport as part of their theme. As something that they always saw that this country. So it's not like as if the fact that the Labour Party is doing it now, it's not as if it is the Labour Party alone who saw the need for the airport. The airport is always something that every other leader who led this country felt that there was a need for it. Either they were able to start it or not. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
No, I'm trying to close my phone and I hear
Oh, well, that must be because we have your call. Yeah, you just have to hang it up, mommy. Okay? Yes. Yeah. So Clarence, to somebody saying their blessed night, or let me just read a comment there from the Next Level page. I would encourage everyone to start to our history, because if we don't, we would not want what was then. We would not know what is. Plenty of us, wasn't educated. We were programmed. The slave masters taught us how to think. Now, some of us are taught not to question their propaganda and deceptions. What is disturbing is that plenty people are siding with those liars against their own people and country. Folks, fascism and racism are dangerous combinations, so don't get caught up in the lies. Of course, that is someone there speaking to the people. Caller, good evening on the telephone.
Good evening to you, CB. Good evening to you, Mr. Kerman. Compliment of this evening to you all.
Many greetings to you, my dear.
Only God bless the special good night to Honorable the Paris.
Yes.
Minister Popo in Paris. To be honest, sometimes when we sit back and we think of Dominica, we have to say a big thank you to the Honorable Prime Minister. Because there are things that happen in Dominica, it was not happening. The other political party, they had fought of it. They were thinking of it, but they did not do it. So we have to say thank you to the Honorable Russell Kerry for his great effort and his thoughts to do all what he's doing there. And we have to say thanks for them. Because because he kept his promise. That is what we have to say thanks to. Because he kept his promise on his manifesto. All what he said he needs to do, he did it, he's doing it. Honorable Roosevelt Carrick, may God bless you, and may God bless your cabinet. May God give you long life and strength for you to see, and for you to sit down, and for us to see that international airport finish. Because you're not building it for yourself, you make it for Dominica and for Dominicans. Because in the future to come, our children will inherit the benefit of that airport. Because sometimes we're on the air calling and we don't know how we will that airport. So we have to say thankful. Let us put all negative things at the back. Let us forget about what happened. Let us talk about positive things. Because the other side doesn't never talk about positive things. Always speaking about negative. They don't want nothing good for Dominica. But let us leave them, let us forget, but we have to say the truth. Make people, educate people what was taking part in Dominica and what is taking part in Dominica. I'm not being there for the time, but as soon as I reach, I'm going to confirm, I'm going to visit the site of the airport. And this is what I want to go and visit. If God gives me strength, I want to go and get to this site. I want to go and visit that part of Dominica, the site of the airport, to watch that airport. For me to say, yes, that is a man. That is a man vision, and that is a man that cares for Dominica and cares for people. May God bless each and every one of you all. Let us sit down and call on God for us to have wonderful things to happen to Dominica. May God bless us, and may God bless all Liberites. Whether you're not a Liberite, may God bless you because you're living in Dominica. Whether you are here abroad, those who are abroad that don't know about Dominica, come down and visit instead of sitting and say things about Dominica. Come and visit. Come and have a look at Dominica. Dominica is not Dominica when Hurricane Maria passed. Dominica has developed a lot with our growth of our Prime Minister, our help of our Prime Minister. May God bless you. I'm calling from Guadeloupe, the Labour Party family in Guadeloupe. Like it's a special good night to you all. May God bless you all, health and strength for continue to stay as a group, to work together as the Labour Party. May God have a special good night to my mother, all the Liberites. What a good night to you. Everybody, I'm listening to you.
Thank you from Guadeloupe there, of course, for your contribution there and the support that no doubt you all continue to give to this country, because we need our people to understand that if we don't give the support, then Dominica, there are those, we cannot leave Dominica to those who want to see Dominica fall, to see the worst of the worst, because as I said, this airport, as the Prime Minister rightly said in his presentation, is that the people of this country, when this airport is completed, they will not have any loan to pay. I mean, I don't know how to say it, how that can be said again. No paquet the PS debt pour pay. The airport, we will see the airport, and what we will know is that is like a gift, almost like a gift to the people, where you don't have to pay for it, but it comes with serious work. Because raising the money to build the airport is not something that just happened overnight. It's something that comes with a lot of work, and so when the future governments, whether it's the Labour Party, whether it's the UWP or whichever other party that in the future, or Freedom Party itself, or whichever one that Dominicans may choose, whenever they decide to run the country, they won't have to worry about a debt. You see, that's the fundamental difference between what the Labour Party is doing and what the UWP did. The Prime Minister didn't go to Social Security and say, let him take the pension money of the hard-working people of Dominica and go and commit it into a bank and take a loan of, what percentage interest can they are taking? 14% interest loan to build an airport, jeopardizing the pension of the citizens of this country, or using funds that should go to the Treasury to help with the recurrent expenditure. He didn't go and take these things to build an airport. He didn't increase the taxes on the citizens of this country to try to build an airport. He tried to ensure that the citizens would be able to continue to live their lives while the government continue to lower the cost as often as it can to the citizenry in making sure that this airport is built without committing us. And so the future generations or the generations of Dominica will not have to be burdened. And the Prime Minister said something that was so true, Clarence, that as the Prime Minister of this country, when he took on the mantle of leadership of this country, he had to literally almost do everything from scratch. And that is true. I mean, you look at the road network in Dominica today, and a lot of us driving around, and we're driving on nice roads. And even if there is still millions of dollars to be spent, because we know that the piece of road that is going to be joining with the airport is going to be well in the region of some $500 million. And we have the Granby Road that is taking Clarence,
by
100 plus.
By the time you add going up to Bagatelle,
Yes.
it is going to cost almost $200 million.
Here you go. You know,
200 million. By the time you put in the cost, when Bagatelle section commence,
yes,
it is going to be $200 million.
yes.
So, or more.
Mm-hmm.
But not less than $200 million, because you have a number of bridges. You have the seawall at Dubique. You would have the the cutting of the mountain, just like just like they're doing on the Granby Road, going up to Bagatelle to make that road a two-lane road. So it is going to cost another close to another $75 to $100 million to do from Granby to Bagatelle. Because
go ahead.
So all these things, this is what the government have had to do.
Yes,
and in addition to Simeon, we're talking about international airport. Roosevelt Skerrit virtually had to pay for an airport that we never had.
Yeah. You know, someone is telling me there, Simeon, how gullible can you get? That is Dominica is building an airport with no debt. What funds are being used to build the airport? CBI Chinese question. Okay, we will know the truth when labor is out. So according to you, the airport is free of course to Dominicans. Okay. Well, you see, that's the propaganda of UWP.
That's propaganda of UWP.
I mean, UWP don't want to accept the fact that the airport is being built by the citizenship program.
Yeah.
And that the Prime Minister, in his honesty, has spoken to the people of Dominica that this government did not take a loan. We've not gotten to that point where the government have to consider a loan for the purpose of constructing the international airport. That the citizenship by investment program is where the funds that are building the housing, the funds that are building many of the infrastructure of this country, that is the citizenship that is and UWP cannot figure it out. It seems to me that they have a problem in figuring out how can the government be able to skillfully use the citizenship program in such a way where it can build the airport without taking a loan. And that is understandable, because they had the citizenship program when they were in power, the UWP. They make a mess out of it rather than using the program in an effective way that could help to not destroy the country's economy or bring difficulty and hardships on the citizens of Dominica, but use the program in a way where, like, that could help transform the lives of the citizens of this country. They made a mess out of it, and rather they decided loan was the way to go. But when I remember I heard Edison James once said, "Is loans you have to take to run the country," and if everything you're doing is loan you have to take, Papa Bode, one day when you can't take loan again, what's going to happen?
Simeon, let me just tell the caller. If the government had taken a loan to build the international airport, or any amount of money, any loan or bonds or whatever the case may be, the government would have to go to Parliament to seek approval, because no financial institution will give the government a loan if it doesn't go to Parliament to seek approval of Parliament to borrow the money. Social Security will not give government the loan. If government go through Social Security and get a loan, if it doesn't go to Parliament to get the money, because under the Loans Act, to borrow any money, government must go to Parliament to borrow money. So if the government was borrowing money to build the airport, it would have had to go to Parliament, and Parliament is always live. I don't think we have ever had a session of Parliament since Parliament became live under the Freedom Party or something, or who had brought it live? Patrick John? Or
it's been
the party, yeah. Since Parliament was live, since Parliament started broadcasting, Parliament has always been live, and then the caller you would have known, or those persons who have that same thing is a loan or thing, so you would have known that the government has borrowed money to build the international airport. When UWP was taking the bonds from Trinidad to build the airport, they went to Parliament and seek to borrow $140 million in bonds. Right? What they did not do, because it wasn't a loan, it was just like going, and they had the authority just go and tell the manager they want $36 million from the Social Security. They did not take a loan. They just go in Social Security and take $36 million and send it to Trinidad, which was against the rules of Social Security. So caller, if it was a loan, you would have known, and the nation would have known, because government must go to Parliament to approve, to seek approval from Parliament to get a loan.
Yes, and you know, and like anything else, the people, as the Prime Minister say, will not have a loan to pay, and that is the truth. You know, so the Europeans have heard them on numerous occasions on their program, trying to give the public the impression that is a loan that is building the airport, and is not, like as if it's not CBI, it's not this, it's not that. Well, you know, this government don't have time to lie to the people of Dominica. Our Prime Minister has always been open and transparent to the people on how the airport was going to be built. When the contract was signed for the commencement of raising the funds for the airport, it was done in a very open area where the agreement was signed under the citizenship program to commence the construction of the airport. And what we have seen today is that those who were saying that it was a lie, that no airport was going to be built, that it was there are people who are advocating on behalf of the who try to even bet with Dominicans to put down $25,000.
Yep.
That no airport is going to be built.
Simeon,
they claim to be businessmen that have money to live for how much generation of their family, and I wish them good luck with that. That common public radio to say, I am willing to put down Matt Peltier, telling Matt Peltier I'm willing to put down $25,000 that this airport will never be built. That is what, and they claim to have ambition, these people there. You know, I've never seen more stupid people like that in my whole life. You know, and today now, they all of them are singing a different song. You know, there are those who came and said it was impossible, and they call themselves engineers of the UWP, who said it was impossible to build the airport where it was being built, because they talk about this gorge, that gorge, when water come down from the mountain, when this, when that, and what would happen. But you see, they never understood the project, and they never understood that there was a plan, and there was a proper plan. And while they thought that there was no plan, there was always a plan. And even when the Chinese came and the company came and they started testing the earth. Oh, why is now they testing the earth? Like as if they don't realize it's an ongoing project. So you have to keep testing as you construct it. It's not to say you can just come and test, and then you have no construction. And so today, everybody is accepting now that the airport is building now. So now their new talk now is that is a loan we take and how we hiding it. Well, the truth is there's nothing to hide. You know, Prime Minister Skerrit has demonstrated over many years that he has the ability as a Prime Minister to lead this country, you know, to raise the money that is much needed for the purpose of developing Dominica. And we people are able, those who are not able to see, they are able to hear, you know, and they know. I remember one lady said, somebody asked, you know, this lady who couldn't see, how she know that the airport is building. She said, "Saye, mopakatan." You know, so in other words, those who cannot see can hear, and those who cannot hear can see. So the reality is the Europe is accepting now that the airport is building, and that is one of the reasons why when you listen to them talking now, they don't talk about airport. You know what they talk, what they praying for now is for the CBI to die.
To die, yeah. But the CBI is dying.
Their new prayer now is for the CBI to die. But as I tell them, you know, they will die before the CBI, because when I tell the power of their tongue is what that will lead them. You know, so everything UWP have prayed for to happen to Dominica, you can see it happening to the UWP. They are defeating their own self. They are destroying their own self. They cannot even come together to lead their own selves, even to lead Dominica as a country, you know. And those who believe that I hear talking about Fontaine as if Fontaine worked at the IMF and he is a financial guru, you know, he knows how to fix Dominica economy and he knows how to do that. You know, I see Fontaine posing by a fella with some dashing and playing like they bring in money for the man. You know, ask Fontaine about his own history. You know, his own history of managing things. Where money, the people of Grand Forks have to ask him about, keep asking him about the DAS money, you know, and the DAS land, and all the land that was surrounding the Grand Forks area there that Mr. De Phillips left for the DAS. Why didn't he advise the DAS at the time to use that land for some development project for the Grand Forks community if he had loved the people of Grand Forks so much, you know? But rather, he thought of how to put a piece of the title on his name because he was looking after his own personal interests. So Fontaine don't really care about Dominica, and Fontaine own manner in which he has managed many things that he has had the opportunity to manage. So by coming and telling people he left the IMF to come and serve Dominica, he's lying to Dominicans. That's not telling Dominicans the truth.
Simeon, if Dominicans, and I want to tell, probably that's why the Marigot posse know those things. And people like the pastor who ran against him last year knew about the credibility. If you, Thompson was working at the IMF for a number of years. He has reached the stage where he was getting between $10,000 and $15,000 a month as his salary, US. If you Google Thompson Fontaine name, you just see a simple Google of his name, you're seeing a litany of charges where people were suing him, lawsuits.
Yeah.
For as little as $800, you know, credit card as little as $800, he is being sued.
That's why he run from the U.S. and come back to Dominica.
That is why he ran from the U.S. His salary was being garnished. And you cannot be working with a financial... If anybody working at the credit union or any credit union in Dominica or the local banks and some other institution sending a letter to the bank to garnish your salary for non-payment, you know there's something that the bank to sack you?
Right. Of course.
That is a thing for the bank that you're not paying your debt. You are an employee of the bank, and some institution you go and take a car on hire purchase, and you refuse to pay the payment, and the car has to garnish your salary. And
you know the IMF operate. I mean, these people they have strict policy.
They have strict policies.
Somebody saying you don't pay only at 4.5 years and it could not have completed the airport. But the fact is that UWP
they never started the airport.
I mean, let's deal with the reality. The reality is UWP did take a loan from
Trinidad, from Citibank in Trinidad. Citibank and Royal Bank.
They took a loan. But much of that money of the loan they took was going to pay salaries.
So let me tell the caller the thing. 72 million of 126 million. Because let me explain to the... Thank you for listening. UWP issued bonds. It's a loan basically of $140 million. They sold the bonds at a discount. That is, we got $126 million and we have to pay back $114 $140 million. So they sold this concrete at a discount of $14 million. So basically, we gave the bank $14 million upfront, and we had to pay back $140 million at 9% interest. When you add the 9% interest and the 14 million, it is the in total interest coming up to effective interest rate of 14.39% interest. Right? This is what it. Now, what did they do with the money? 72 million went to pay salaries.
And that was not the purpose they got the money.
That was the purpose for they got the money
That was
for.
the purpose, right.
So they violated the law that they went to parliament and got the money for the airport. They violated that. 72 million went to pay salaries. 16 million went to pay the land that they were purchasing the land. Yes, they paid the land. 16 million. They gave Senior Counsel Anthony Asafan a check of $16 million to pay the owners of the land. They paid from that $5 million, the first and only time they paid Social Security in the 4.5 years they were in office. One and only time they paid Social Security, $5 million. If you add 72 and 5, that is 77 and 16. Right? So the balance remaining was just about $30 million they had remaining or thereabout.
So they could not have built airport.
Could not build airport. There is no way they could have built airport. Absolutely no way they could have built airport.
No.
And you see, I have been saying that none of them can deny that.
Right.
None of them.
Right.
So there was no way they could have built airport. And even then, the money they think they could rely on, the $30 million the EU gave to CARIFORUM, and CARIFORUM gave all of it to Dominica. And EU had put a caveat on that and said no new infrastructure, but to improve on what you already have. They could not use it, so they had no money to build airport. They could not build airport. Absolutely no money.
And the history has proven that they didn't have the means of building it because and Clarence, you can see why God took out UWP from power, because and God led the people to remove this party from power, because the misery that they were really bringing on the people was, I mean, we bear it for 10 years in just fixing the damage that they had caused. And one of the things about the Labour Party that is fundamentally different is that, look at what Prime Minister Skerrit said. After Erica, the damage that was done to Douglas Charles, was significant, that this government had to spend $200 million to put Douglas Charles Airport back up and running, while at the same time ensuring that the night landing continue, because if we didn't have night landing at the time, and there were those who were criticizing the Prime Minister and saying, but why is the government spending so much money on Douglas Charles when he talking about building an international airport? But in the interim, we needed to build Douglas Charles to accommodate the citizens in the short term, while at the same time keeping the plan of building the international airport. Now, that $200 million that was spent on rehabilitating Douglas Charles after Erica was not alone that the government took again. The government was able to raise that money and to use funds from our citizenship program, and in a skillful way, without indebting the citizens of this country, to bring back Douglas Charles back up to a standard where today, Clarence, we see major flights coming in that never used to come in.
Even that, Simeon, so that American and United could come, the government spent another $30 million.
Right.
Even while the international airport had started already.
In extending the runway.
In extending the runway and grooving the runway. Because I can remember people were asking, that is when they started, we're not building international airport because the government's spending money. I can remember writing on thing and asking those people on Facebook, if they have a cow and they're going to slaughter the cow in December.
Yeah.
If in October they still have the cow to slaughter in December, if they would not feed the cow.
That's if we have a caller there. Caller, are you there first? Good evening. Good evening.
No. Happy New Year to everybody. Everybody.
To you too.
The radio station, the TV station, all stations. I personally would like to see, I would like you guys to do for me, to us, the thing that is going on and happening around the island. Or you come in and you're talking to us. You have to come and talk to us and tell us, we just tell you that is a pink and that is a blue. Watch for yourself and show us. Show us how the place was before they start to work. Show us how it is now. And in between, show us. Make us feel good.
Yes, you'd like to see that on GIS.
Mr. Packer,
Yes.
I have told you.
A lot of senior citizens crying on that year, not showing them nothing. You know what people tell me?
Yeah.
Them up in jail and not taking your way, sir.
Yes. So you're talking about
GIS must do something.
yeah.
Especially for the senior citizens.
I understand what you're saying, sir.
You know, something cannot go out. So if that airport was between Portsmouth to on that road, people will go, we will take a bus and just go. But where is it you want to do that? So you need to see. They can do something for the senior citizens.
Yes.
Well, I'm a senior citizen, so for all of us. Good night, sir.
All right. And I understand your point. I mean, you know, it's good that when people can actually see what's happening there. Not many people have access to Facebook and those kind of social media and be able to go on there and really see things. The truth about it is I do agree with you that it would be good that there can be periodically progress reports, you know, in terms of what's going on, the advancement of it. And I do agree we need to do greater PR on the use of these channels that we have to show a lot more of what we are doing, because there's a lot going on. And I know that there are some senior citizens, for example, that were taken to visit, some senior citizens from Kenfield, that were taken to visit the international airport site, and big up to the Kenfield Urban Council for organizing that with them. And I can tell you, and the Prime Minister, and who contributed to that as well. And when these people went to see the airport, you know, they had a whole different feeling, because you know, they really saw the transformation of a place that, like Clarence said, when he first went there, he was trying to figure out how that was going to happen with all the mountains and everything he was seeing. But today, when you go there today and you really see the site, you know, it's a wonderful sight to see, and it tells you why as the parliamentary representative for Wesley was saying, the Honorable Mr. Grant was saying that he wanted to thank the people of the area for how they have been so supportive to the program. So while you had the little fraction of the UWP that would try to oppose it in many ways, you have the larger population of Wesley and Woodfordale who understand that the importance of that project to their constituency and their community by extension. And many people, as Prime Minister Skerrit say, were willing to give up their house, give up their land, and because the airport, they realize that is going to help to transform the area in many ways and create tremendous opportunity for the people within the Wesley, Woodfordale, Calibichi, and just name it. You know, the entire office. And so I do agree that we need to find a way to help more of our seniors and more of our people to be able to see the actual transformation, not just of the international airport, but also of the geothermal project and the other. Because today somebody messaged me apparently from overseas to ask me whether I can send them some photographs of the marina. Mm-hmm. Because we talk about it, but people want to see. Because, you know, sometimes, like the Prime Minister says, seeing is believing, you know. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Well, as I hung up, somebody called me and they asked me why I didn't call my name if I'm afraid to call my name. I tell them, well, if they were listening to the radio, they wouldn't ask me my name. But my name is Alton Pastor.
Yes, I. Thank you, Mr. Baker. All right, there. Let me take this call there. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good evening to Brother Simeon and good evening to Mr. Christian and him, who's King Man, King of our when you come this year.
Good evening, good evening.
I'm touching base.
Yeah, man.
So, Simeon boy, as you talk about a refugee, a little bit boy, out your program same way because I am people just talking about a maximum crazy thing. But Simeon, when I'm truly know, Uncle Trump is a very dangerous man. I lost my case. I prayed for that to go with Uncle Trump. Uncle Trump is a very, very dangerous man. I'm telling you something now.
Talk to me.
You see that international airport there today? As you know, before we was born, we talk about the international airport, right?
Yes.
And as I said, I don't assume by the struggle, I tell my mother, what kind of pass and flight, you know what I'm saying? With international airport, same way. So what I'm saying now, any country and every country just to have an international airport and a good seaport. And when you have distinct things what's going on in your you will do that. Right? So knowing that now we are agricultural island, as they say. Right now, as you brother say, the other thing is get out the rate, put out the power, put the potential, and then do what we have to do because right now the opportunity is there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So right now, this is agricultural island. And your fresh things are going to disappear fast and quick. Money going to come in fast and quick. You know that?
Of course, no, man.
You know, so right now we're spreading all in Africa. We got all over the world. When people go in and they can come and do the thing, keep it up and running. We working a bit. We have no boundaries. We love everybody, working everybody. Uncle Trump, we love you. Uncle Putin, we love them. We love in China for like because China working about for a very long time.
Yes.
You know, education and artificial intelligence is two different set of people, right?
That's right.
Who building the airport, Simeon?
The Dominican Labour Party.
No, but who has project at constructing the airport?
Oh, Clarence, the money company.
CR5.
Yeah. The Chinese company, yes.
The Chinese company, CR5.
Thank you. Simeon, that's why I said that's smart and intelligent. I am sometimes on the program talking about, Chinese building the airport. Why never everybody can be building the airport? I don't know China building the airport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I not our airport. I building a man. A money factory there, making money because they go the equipment and go the money, man. And who can go to international airport, man?
Nobody can go with it. It belongs to the people of Dominica.
Even if the Chinese were building it, it remain in Dominica. The Chinese can't put another badge and take it to China.
But that's why I tell Mr. Clarence, when people want to get somebody getting sent to go ready going, how can any get somebody or motivate somebody? It's not making sense. You cannot tell people Chinese are making a big pot and and we know the China building the airport. I never know no Caribbean person building the airport. I never know nobody in America can build the airport. You know what I'm saying? I don't know personally, my lord. That airport there, boy, that man, because there is that airport up and running. We don't have no camping to go do anything else.
I tell you.
Dress in our living colors. We when it ready. We don't dress in when I'm going to by the airport, you know. You know that?
Yeah, man.
We're just because why? That is history in our lifetime and the best. What I heard in America, that's why you're opinion. So if we finish, right now we can be doctor, lawyer, scientist, teacher. Just think of it. We can be anything we want to be right now. We have a life and a mind of our own. We can be rich. We can be anything we want to be. Right?
Yeah.
So right now we're in a new era. You check? And as slavery made us suffer too much because we never had no asset. When you don't have asset, you have a serious problem. That's the same thing happened to Africa up to this present time. Tell you what I say that. We take it for them time believe that. Right now we have asset. Airport is asset. You know that?
Of course, no, man. Major asset.
Airport is big asset. Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Major.
Airport is big asset. Get it straight. You know what I'm saying? So that's a serious project. And as I tell you, my lord, it's an agricultural island. So all have to make up their mind to do. All them women have them long nails. I tell them, they cut the long nails and just to go and deal it up. So man will follow them. Then when they send you the long nails, man will be on the road. So they go in the bush. You know, man, if we don't like girls, they'll go and tell us, but I know fellas like them, man like girls. You know what I'm saying? So they go in the bush now with them and impressing them. So now, what if I have planting and agriculture, different products that can go overseas? Right now, we have to take boat to take on what days. It's one shot. As the money, as the boat, fly, one shot at the plan, the money flying back one day. That's what you're working there.
Of course.
So you can up and running. So as you say about Thompson, let me ask Thompson a question. Right now you say you're working for whosoever, making how much money? It is possible in life. You can get in this kind of money based on what Mr. Christian say, right? Now you have your resources in America. Is your family. But now you lose your family, is your resources. What can somebody give you? You can have somebody else?
Tell you.
I think you have a business, right? And you know that business even you are like pastor. See, when you love that business, you can tell me how to run like this.
I tell you, my brother.
Let's get it real, Simeon. Huh?
I tell you. How can I?
Let's get it real. It just like a whole bunch take that little country there, right?
Mhm.
And we'll step up that phone. New in right now, different state, and that's why like Kings and Queen. I don't checking what goes to work with me yet, but I don't know this way goes to work with fireman because when we have everybody coming up, I got money on the side. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, when you see what that country that's in on, how we was yesterday and the way we be today, it's impossible. Like I already know, no prime minister. You have one to come, one that will never come at all. Can do what we got in that country. You know? Tell you what I can see on. You know that? And when you see we lose that man there, it's going to be very difficult to get someone like that in our life, you know. That's why I tell them, all the way talking them little garbage. They never vote for us. They never support us, so they can say what they want. If I live a family saying thing about my people have a problem, why them man say I never mind nothing, they only want to be malice, that. I don't worry about them, they can say what they want. So it's really great to have a family that we realize now. We have a great leader, all them parliament members, make up all the men, you have to be up and running in living colors. We have to work with them, and they have to work with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And everyone of us going to make a difference in our country and make a change.
That's...
I can take our program because I'm the program just now because Uncle Chumba has my program. I put boy, he doesn't think. Up and running, Simeon.
Yeah, man.
Now is our time to shine. We small and we tell our. You know, there's no stopping us. And before I go, I don't say one thing about the refugees. I think does something. It's right now there. But if you can bring 5,000 people, it's criminalized ourselves. I know deportee and refugees, two different set of words and two different set of people. Yes or no?
That's correct.
If they are deported in our country, women they born and raised in this country, they can come. No deported or born in Africa to come in our country, but a refugee can come. So what about take 2,000 once the money, correct and up and running living colors, we work in it. Up and running, nobody can do that you. We small and we tell our good morning to Mr. Darrell, see that good fireman, but they can't stop. We have a great labor family, and now we have time to work. Up and running, airport coming living colors, fireman running, bless up the thanks.
Yeah, man. Big up, fireman. Thank you again for your country. Yes, Terrence.
So let me tell some persons there, UWP, they like our program. Those persons who were saying that it's Chinese. If Chinese was building the airport, the entire world would have known because they would have published it because that's what they do. And it is not them. It is not they. A Chinese company is contracted to build the airport, and they are getting paid from the proceeds of the Citizenship by Investment program. That is it. Just like we know for sure, the road from Borough Square in Portsmouth to now right up to Desbranches is going to be built by the Chinese government. They're funding it, and they have allocated some 500 million EC dollars to that project.
Right.
So everybody know that.
Right.
When the road start building, it is the Chinese government, of the People's Republic of China, will be funding that project with a gratuitous grant. Not alone a grant of approximately or amounting up to 500 million EC dollars to build that road. 27 two-lane bridges. 425 two-lane water crossings.
Yes.
And all these things going up there. And whatever, straightening and things so costing 500 with a grant of $500 million. And the company to do this has already been selected. So come later down this year, in a few months' time, we will see work commencing on that project.
That's where the Chinese government now is contributing in a different way now towards the infrastructure of this country.
Infrastructure of the country.
Let's take this call there. All right, caller, we lost you there, and that's how they are contributing. So the Prime Minister is obviously he has said it to the public that this is where we are going to, how we're going to fund it. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Yes, Simeon, that's your boy Guada.
Yes, Guada.
Yes. Simeon, how does it happen? Oh no, I hear talking about water, to ship water. So it is 10 plans, that's 11.
You know.
10 plans.
Yeah.
They give Afotemate our river. Why you don't put in Afotemate to ship up the water? So some agree you can fool somebody. Some don't say they haven't got nothing. He don't take. No, if it's like a fool, it's my time that's a time like before when they say $1 a pound of banana. And instead they'll give $1, they give 10 cents. But you don't see my prime minister, our prime minister is working. So you don't see Scarrett is working. Scarrett is trying all his best to develop Dominica. Then I'm 65 years, I'll be 66 years. So I know the hardship of Dominica, Thompson. So much I always think put 10 cents license. So I work on that airport. Where did they put in that airport? Guada is bad. But Guada know the place where they build in that airport. I work on that estate, Londonderry estate. I work on that estate also in Whitford Hill. Wesley, I know Wesley very good. Thompson, you can't fool nobody if you're nonsense, Thompson. Thompson, Labour is working. Give Labour his break for Labour to do what they have to do because Labour can't have. Right? Thompson. The tax money, you have to give a account about that tax money, Thompson. But I'm okay, Or to stick your finger. We afraid you, Thompson. Thompson, we have got confidence in you. We have confidence in our PM that we're working. Thompson, we will vote for Labour. And my vote is a Labour vote, Thompson, from it, because the reason why our Prime Minister, he is working Labour can't survive.
Yes, I. Yeah, man. Yeah, and Guada mentioned something that interested when you listen to Sticky Finger and UWP, they talk about water. Oh, we have so much water. Well, if water could have saved Dominica,
Afima should be able to save it.
Afi would be a trillionaire.
Actually, by now, Afima there should be a trillionaire.
Because when he applied to the government for the license to sell water, they gave him a river.
They give him a whole river. Charles Savary, as minister, gave him a whole river.
Excellency, former president, Charles Savary, then as a minister of government, did not say to no to him. They gave him the river. Ask him with his brilliant brain, how was that,
Not an ounce of water he has shipped.
And why is it that he could not incorporate, other companies to be able to make it work? And if water could have saved Dominica, Labour and could have built an airport for Dominica, and could have built all the things that Dominica needed, I'm telling you, it would have happened a long time. Because obviously the water has been there very, 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 very long. But like anything else, we need water. It is vital to us. But we cannot think that water alone, as Thompson is talking about, like he can fix Dominica economy with water. Yes, you can build 1 or 2 water plants there and there and there, and nothing wrong in that. Like we are seeing happening today, there are people who are investing in water plants, and we have Tapito water, we have other water that is being produced here in Dominica. But the fact is that developing a country like Dominica will need much more than that, and that's part of the reasons why this government has really focused its attention on using the citizenship program to put in the infrastructure. Now, if you're going to attract investors into your country, you have to open up the country in a way that investors can come in. And a lot of major investors out there today have their private jets, and Clarence, the international airport will provide for that.
Yeah.
That they have their private jets and they want to be able to fly in today and fly out whenever they're ready.
But let me tell you something, Simeon.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to St. Martin, St. Kitts now have a nice private jet in just St. Kitts, Antigua. So this is what the guy that famous Jordan wants to come down to see Creole Festival. He takes his private jet, land it, and then he has his parking, he has everything.
But he was in St. Lucia sometime last year there. Michael Jordan landed with his private jet in St. Lucia. And you can see now that because of the international airport St. Lucia have had, it has encouraged investors of certain, to come in.
So he come in with a private jet.
And Clarence, we have always been told, that Dominica needs an international airport for this country to really... because during the stabilization program that we undertook, a number of the lecturers who were coming to lecture us on how we can fix Dominica, the first thing they had on their list was an international airport, And that's part of the reasons why Prime Minister Skerrit understood very well that we needed to build one. But when he came in as Prime Minister, there were a lot of other issues that were affecting us that the government had to address. And there were priority things that had to be addressed, the government had to do. And building an international airport is not something you just go in and sleep and get up tomorrow and say you go in and build it. Because there is a lot of logistic, a lot of things you have to put in place. Proper planning, before you begin executing it. You have to determine how you raising the money, which is the key thing for building it. And you're talking over $1 billion. That's why UWP was fooling us back in the days to make us believe that $140 million they went and taking trade that could have built an airport. They knew they used the airport as a front to get the loan. But that's what they told the parliament. They told the parliament that they were going to take the loan on the premise of building an airport. But they knew that they were going to use the money for something else. That's what they did. And that's why when the Europeans should be ashamed to talk about airport, about they was going to build airport, because Dominicans would have never end up with an airport. And rather, what we would have seen is misery like we saw come on the people, which the Labour Party had to fix. When you have a government that runs the country for how many years now, remove the first 5 years when we were going through the challenges, the major challenges, and going into the second 5. The Labour Party has not, IMF never came to Dominica, after that, to tell Dominica, well, the government, well, you're managing the country wrong. The world police, the world auditor is the IMF, And when the IMF come and they watch your books, they will tell you if the government is going wrong or if the government is going right. And since Prime Minister Skerrit began making the transformation of this country happen, all the IMF have been telling us is that we are on the right track. There is expected growth in Dominica's economy in spite of all of the major disasters we've had. Because why? The government is investing in the right areas that will help with the transformation of Dominica. So they acknowledge the investment in geothermal as being vital, as being important for Dominica, because when you can provide the energy that you need to fuel the very much major investment that is going on in this country, and you can find that energy through your natural resource, it's almost like having oil. We just don't have oil, but we are using our natural resource, which is the energy from underneath the ground, to fuel the plant that will reduce the cost to the citizenry. Tremendously. If you look at the millions of gallons of fuel, diesel that Domlec uses every month to put that energy, they pass that on to the consumers.
But I am telling you, Simeon,
we pay for, the consumers have to pay for that regardless to what they may think. And if the price go up tomorrow for whatever reason, right now diesel sells at about $50 or $60 a barrel. But if it goes up, Clarence, up to $100 like we once saw, you can imagine what the cost of energy will be for us as citizens. So these investments are very, very important for driving the economy of the country. And the international airport is another major area where it is going to help with that kind of growth. Now, Dominica is a small island, yes. We don't have millions of people. As they say, they like to say we have 70,000 and less people. So with a few millionaires coming in to help, to help with the development of Dominica, you will see what will happen. And that's why Prime Minister Skerrit keep telling us that foreigners are looking to buy land in Dominica. And they are looking to buy land as much as 100 acres of land because they are seeing the potential of growth in this country's economy. Dominica is a gem. It is a beautiful island. It is pretty much untouched. That is where you can enjoy the true nature of life, because we have natural forests, we have hills, we have mountains, we have valleys, we have rivers. Our rivers are clean. They are not contaminated. People who come here love this island, and they enjoy, going through the interior of this country. So no doubt that this airport is a life-changing project for Dominica. And so though Thompson Fongen can come with his plan about water and so on, but that's not all that's going to take to build Dominica. You know, so Labour is the only party right now that have a true plan, that have a foresight and a financing plan. Because you see, when you're going to come with and tell people what you will do, you must also tell them how you will fund it, you know, and which other political party or any person in Dominica, other than the Labour Party, that say to Dominicans exactly, look, we are going to build the Grand Bay Road, but this is where the funding for this project is going to come. Look, we are going to build the international airport. Look, this is where the funding is going to come from. Look, we are going to extend and rehabilitate the road network from Portsmouth going all the way into Marigot. Look where we are getting the money from. You know, it is $500 million as a grant. DDOP is busy looking for the memorandum of agreement between I hear Sticky Finger talking about he will renegotiate. If he get into power, he will renegotiate the agreement between Dominica and China because he don't know what is in the agreement and blah, blah. What renegotiate what? You know, this. I mean, that's how many years ago.
So he mean that still memorandum of understanding hasn't expired?
100% of what was agreed upon in the memorandum of agreement between the People Republic and China and Dominica have been delivered.
And more
have been delivered. So, for example, the $500 million grant that Prime Minister Kerry talking about that the Chinese government is offering to the people of this country for the construction of this road from Portsmouth going, that was not part of the memorandum of agreement. But as time goes by and the relationship continues, there are new things that will come to the table. And this is one of the reasons why we today are continuing to see how this agreement to move from Taiwan to China has benefited the people of Dominica, you know. And so, yes, you know, people will come and run their mouth about, oh, they never saw the agreement, even if it was published. It was published, you know. Because I remember when we were going into one of the elections, they were asking for it. And Prime Minister Kerry tabled it, and it was published. It was not no high science, but the UDP couldn't accept the fact that Dominica was going to benefit in the way that it has benefited.
But Simeon, the 6 schools,
you know,
that had been built by China wasn't any memory. We didn't have Hurricane Maria then. The 6 schools.
Yeah, we did not have that. That was not
1 secondary school and 5 schools.
Yes.
Thompson Ponkin probably haven't gone up to Tetmon or Bellevue Chopin. Probably he's seeing the Goodwill School all the time going there.
Yeah.
That was a part of memorandum.
Yeah.
We have gotten so many other things from China.
Yeah.
So many grant assistance from China. So many of our students have gone to China to study.
And Clarence, when you look at the debt Dominica have to China, is next to nothing, you know.
Next to nothing, virtually next to nothing. Less. By now, it should be less than 50 million.
You understand?
When I was there, it was just about going up to 100. By now, it should be less than 50 million.
You know,
we were owing CDB more than 3 times more than what is being owed to the Chinese. What was being owed to the Chinese government?
Because largely, most of what the Chinese have done for us in Dominica, these are things that were negotiated, you know, through means of not necessarily a loan, but rather, you know, ensuring that we can get. And that's one of the things Prime Minister Kerry has done skillfully over the many years. And so, Sticky Finger Fountain can come and talk about the UWP ready to run them. But UWP can't tell you where it's going to get. The only thing UWP have said to Dominicans is that it will rely on the CBI. That's the only thing I've heard UWP say they would do, you know. So they would bring Henley and partners.
Yeah.
What they would do if they were to get into government, they would stop doing business with MMC for one.
They would fire.
They would stop doing business with every single one of the current agents,
local agents
that are currently working under the citizenship program. They would completely disband
what is going on.
What is currently there now? What do you think going to happen now?
They would put the CBI on a gurney and start to dissect it currently, and then give it over to Henley and Partners.
In the meantime,
and Henley and Partners have to start afresh in a situation where you have uncertainty. You start afresh, and then what happens?
Everything on a style.
Everything's crash.
You know,
they don't want to crash it.
So when they talk about coming in power, is to slow down and to prevent the progress and the pace at which we are moving. All the other islands are looking at Dominica. They are looking at the progress that Dominica is making. When St. Vincent current government talk about going into the CBI, they're using Dominica as a reference.
But Dominica was a reference for their election campaign. Every time they had Dominica houses, all these things, houses, roads and things. So this is what CBI is doing in Dominica, in St. Vincent.
They're seeing the progress. You know, in St. Lucia, they talk about Dominica.
They talk about, yeah.
And what Dominica has done, and that's why. So they are following like we are seeing in investing in the infrastructure in other areas by using. So Prime Minister Skerrit has demonstrated that the citizenship program can help ease the burden on the citizens, while at the same time putting in the infrastructure that we need to help generate and boost this economy. And yes, some things take more time than others, because some of the things we would like to see happen, as I said, we should have seen those things. Some of us getting older, and many people have died. They never saw the stadium. They grew up hearing about stadium, and they never lived to see it, you know. And so it took generations before international cricket could be played in Dominica, because Dominica had to have a stadium. But even there, the UWP doubted that we were going to have a stadium. They didn't believe when Prime Minister Skerrit came back and said that we were going to build the Windsor Park Stadium. They were referring to it as Jurassic Park. You know, something that and Clarence, they were still trying to build the stadium on the same airport money too, you know, because some of them.
No. What it was a Venezuelan company who was supposed
to build it
to get Venezuela. The same Venezuelan company was supposed to get to pay to do the bond, but they didn't have the money.
Okay, so when they take the little money, they start to build it. Same airport money. I telling you, they were trying to fool Dominicans into believing that they were going to build a stadium. So they come and do a little vai thing there, you know, to say nous can faire un petit bagay tout partout, believing that Dominicans would have buy into that, and that Dominicans would have re-elected them when they called the election. But the people of Dominica saw through the UWP and realized that they were not honest with the people of this country, and they voted them out. And the truth revealed itself that the UWP really did not have a proper financing plan for their approach to the development of this country. And the people of Dominica, my dear friends, paid for it. And every public officer in this country who may be going home with their salary, who feel secured in their job for the past 15, 20 years on the Labour Party, know what it was like when the Labour Party had to take on the mantle of leading this country, where, you know, the banks didn't want to give you a loan, where some people were losing their mortgages, where many people, you know, had to find themselves, you know, migrating from Dominica because of the challenges that this country was going through. And, you know, to the point where they were trying to suck out National Bank. I never forget. You know, be trying to sue National Bank, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and just imagine that, you know, Dominicans just forget some things. But the IMF, the very IMF came in and told the government at the time that in order to prevent what UWP did to the bank from ever happening to the bank, they asked that the government forego some of its shares, you know.
Yeah.
I can never forget
and
that.
Only that, Simeon, they were asking the government to pass legislation, responsibility legislation, you know. And I can remember Minister Charles Savre, he was a minister at the time, telling the IMF there's no way a government can pass responsibility legislation. That's what they wanted. They were so thinking that when UWP almost Kool-Aid.
In 4.5 years, they might just come and suck the country dry.
Kool-Aid.
According to what they suck up the country dry. You know?
The bank.
Just imagine that them man try to Kool-Aid the bank too. So Dominica would maybe end up, if them man had a little more time in power, we would have lost National Bank. That is how much they were drying up the country.
Today, the National Bank is awash with money.
And it took this is Pierre Charles before his death. God bless him where he is. You know, who went and ensured that what the IMF was asking us to do, that they did it, that the government did it to protect the bank, to protect Dominicans' money, you know, in that bank. And that is the desperation, the level of desperation these people were under. And so Dominicans have to remember how they manage Dominica. And Sticky Finger is no different. You know, because everything Sticky Finger has put his hand on has failed. Everything. If the man is such a genius as he claimed to be, you know, why then when UWP was controlling DAPEX, Sticky Finger was there, you know. When they come and consider DAPEX to be bankrupt because they couldn't manage DAPEX, just imagine that. You know, a company where before you bring a container of feed, it's sold out. A company, before you bring the input, the farmers taking it and they buying it. But somehow they couldn't manage it. UWP couldn't manage that. They caused Dominicans to lose their money. Even me, lose my little shares I had in the company. When I go in my vault, I still see the certificate there. It's not worth nothing to me now. Up to now, they have not given us account of how they dispose of whatever assets that was in the company.
But
the Sticky Finger and Daniel Luge find themselves doing huckstering. They say there is market and blah, blah, blah. They couldn't make the company work, but then they find themselves behind the scene doing, ask them how that went today. You know, it failed. All how they were doing the farmers, they make it fail. Today he pose in and have a fella there paying a farmer in Grand for making it look how it's going to be under UWP. You know, look how it's going to be. The dashing there is under us, they planting it. It's thank God for labor, they planting dashing. Because when I got to be a member on the board of DAPEX and the government appointed me there was a shortage of dashing in the country. And DAPEX, the company that Sticky Finger and them had, all of them had UWP, had a big contract to supply a container load of dashing every month to a company in the United States. They had the contract that but they were afraid or they did not want to tell the farmers about it. It is I who sat on the board representing the government's interests, and I told the manager at the time, how can you all be representing farmers at that level and have a contract for dashing, and you all are not telling the farmers nothing? There were yams. They needed plenty yams. They had market for yam, for dashing, for the market is there. But they were not pushing it. So I got them to come on that program. That may be the only program the manager went on. I brought him on the next level program at the time to speak about the dashing program that DAPEX had. And I suggested to them that they put out an advertisement to ask the farmers who are interested in the supplying of dashing to come in and register with the company so we could know who they are. We could know how many acreage of land they have, and that the company could advise them on how to cultivate the land so to maintain the supply of dashing, while at the same time providing them with the inputs. I advised them on that. And then the people of them, and within 1 day to 2 days of putting out the advertisement, the manager at the time told me over 150 farmers came in and registered to cultivate and supply dashing. And people within the private sector, whether doctors, nurses, people who were never farmers, end up cultivating their land, and dashing became a very popular figure again in Dominica. Today, Dexia is buying it because why? These fellas shut down the company. You know?
Simeon, let me tell you how wicked Mr. Deba. When that same dashing thing, they ran out, I don't know, they ran out of cash. So they went to the government, the Prime Minister, again in his good heart, removing all you from the board, you know, in his good heart, approved $800,000 as a revolving fund for them. It was give it to them as a loan. So when it came to be disbursed, the Ministry of Finance said they're going to give them 800, they're giving them the 400,000 and let them audit what they did with 400,000. You can remember that?
Yeah, I was there, you know, at that time. Apparently, they did not want to talk to the government, you know.
Yeah, no.
Those fellas were so selfish in how they were running the company, the farmers' company. They didn't want to talk to the government. as a member of the board, I was talking at the time, lobbying at the time for the Prime Minister to come in to give us the assistance. And the Prime Minister agreed to assist the company because they were playing their politics like they have always been doing. They don't want to see nothing good happen in this country under the Labour Party because they believe that the Labour Party will get credit for it. And that is a fact. That is why Sam Raphael today, who is enjoying Jungle Bay, told Dominicans that while Prime Minister Kerry tell him after Erica he's going to assist him to develop Jungle Bay, Linton tell him, don't do that.
But Simeon, this is what they do. When they came to draw the other $400,000, the second tranche, the Ministry of Finance asked them for an audit of the first $400,000.
Yeah.
And asked the Office of Director of Audit to go and do the audit of how the money was spent. So all we were asking them is, tell us how many pounds of dash, whatever you purchase. You don't have to give me which farmer, which thing to. They never give that record. They never had the audit done. They never produced the record. They never, UWP people, they never produced the record so that you could audit the thing. So the Ministry of Finance said they're not giving the other $400,000.
And what they did, they shut down the company.
They shut down the company.
They didn't even say, well, okay, we cannot run it. So let's just accept we cannot run it and let's give it to shareholders who are capable of running it. Because the company had, you can ask Max Roy how much thousands of dollars Max Roy Trading put into that company. Crazy die, he never. Poor crazy boy. Crazy put how much thousands of dollars of his money into the company. And they would have fight against Crazy and everybody else and all of us because why? They wanted to hold the company so they could have their insider trading. A bunch of corrupt people, cause the company to stock over $1 million worth of stock missing. Nobody can tell you where it go. You understand? And instead of working with the farmers and making sure that the farmers were getting what they're supposed to get so that the farmers could be successful, because I always appreciated the fact that the Dominican Labour Party gave the farmers a company where the farmers could buy shares, where the farmers could supply the company with the produce, and they gave the company all of the packing sheds and everything they had. So the company had the support of the government. But the UWP wanted to control it. They control it until they make sure they kill it. And then today, all you want to come and talk about farmers? All you want to come and talk about farming and farmers and this and that? People don't care about those things. These fellas are concerned about their personal interests, what they can benefit, and that is why Thompson Fontaine anxious to be leader of Dominica. Because he believed that becoming Prime Minister, he would become Minister of Finance, and that the finance of the people of Dominica will be in his care, will be in his hand, and that he would have full control over Dominica's money, and that he would be able to save himself in the way he wants to save himself, because he say he come to save Dominica, but he come for Dominica to save him. That's what he come for, So Lennox Linton know plenty things about Thompson Fontaine. That is why Linton and them not supporting Fontaine. Because they know things, it look like they even know more things than we know, which he have not told us. Because that's why when Fontaine became leader of the party a couple of years ago, Lennox Linton said to the members of the delegates that there are things he know that they don't know. Hence the reason why Edison and Linton and all of them decide not to put their support behind him. The Marigot people decide not to put their support behind Fontaine. Because what Fontaine has done and the way he has done it, it has demonstrated that he does not have the ability to lead or to manage anything that is put in his care. Yes, he acquired a PhD.
Yes, he did.
But not every person that acquires a PhD is a genius or is capable of running a rum shop or cabaret or anything at all.
But if you cannot manage your checkbook, Simeon, after getting between $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and you cannot manage US dollars, you cannot manage your checkbook. All little banks, all little credit cards garnish in your account. You come down, you take the dash money.
Sellers boasting about
you take a loan to buy the land. And then the credit union or the bank, whatever it is, had to take the land back.
If Thompson Fontaine is a genius, I don't want to be a genius. If the IL first talk about Thompson is a genius, what? Oh, he go and save economy of other countries.
Which economy he go and save?
That's a very important. Let's talk about Paribanu Dominic Clark. Caller, good evening on the telephone. Good evening, caller. All right. I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure what's wrong with your telephone. But Clarence, I mean, people have to be serious about when you talk about leadership, when you talk about running a country. Because I always maintain, when you have a bad leader, that bad leader can bring suffering on the people, you know. Suffering. Because when these leaders make wrong decisions, it is the people who pay for it. That is why Dominicans paid under the time of UWP. With all what they boast about doing, we paid the price. But Labour came to save the day. This is the reason why our public officers have seen increasing their salaries. Even when Hurricane Maria hit us, the Prime Minister didn't say, boy, we just, everything destroyed, we can't pay people.
And public officers would understand.
And people would have understood that, well, you know, we just get a Category 5 hurricane and the government is not in a position to pay. No, the Prime Minister make sure that people had money in their pocket.
And paid double bubble in November.
And in the same year of hurricane, months of just a couple months into Hurricane Maria, double bubble were paid to the public officers to make sure that they could have money. That's a caring government. Even if there are many other things to do. But first and foremost was to look after the welfare and the well-being of the citizens. And when some of the insurance companies that went bankrupt because of Hurricane Maria, destroying everything, and they didn't have the money because they were underinsured and they did not have the capacity to cover up the many people who, of course, they had give the commitment that they would insure their homes. The Prime Minister found the money to help the insurance companies so that the insurance companies in return would be able to finance these people who were relying on the claims in order to rebuild their homes. This is why the Labour Party is the best choice and continue to be the best choice in Dominica today. And everything the Labour Party has done is visible for the people to see, like night and day. And so you can come and try and pretend as if they come in. I know Fontaine can't save nothing. I know that. And I maintain that what Fontaine did to the DAS, according to Clayton Shillingford in his word, will haunt him for the rest of his life. Because I will keep reminding Dominicans of this man and what this man is capable of doing. And Dominica does not need a leader like that at this time. We are in a stage where we are moving to the next level. And we need a leader that can stand firm, a leader who have been tested on numerous occasions.
And still being tested.
And still being tested today. But is finding a way to make sure that while some are saying Dominica dead, to make sure that he keep Dominica alive for the people of this country, to make sure our seniors can continue to get the benefit that this government is providing for them, to make sure that the Yes We Care can continue to exist, to make sure that the NEP that they criticize so much can continue to be funded, and the people who are working there can get the income that coming to them. Continue to build on the healthcare of this country. We build brand new hospital in Marigot. You know, they talk about the hospital, the old one that was there, but the Europe never did nothing about it, not even when Edison was Prime Minister of the country. But Labour put a state-of-the-art building there to accommodate the health care of these people in that part of the island. Look at what we have now at PMH grounds, the China Friendship Hospital, you know, with better equipment today, more professionals that are trained by this government to be able to man the hospital. And in a few years to come, we will see many more people who who have received the education under this government to come in and do it. So this is the leader that we want. That's the kind of leadership that we have to support in Dominica today. A leader who has been tested and who has proven himself. And there are many out there who are jealous of him. There are many who would want to see him fall. There are many, because Christ was the greatest of all, and there were still those who wanted to see Christ fall. But you know, at the end of the day, Christ still forgive all of us. And he said, forgive us, because we know not what we are doing. And so I will say there are many out there, they don't know what they're playing with. And some people like to wait for when the misery fall on them to say, so Simon te salve. You know, if I knew, I would never have, but don't wait for that. You have to be smart, you have to be bright, and you have to see things for what they are. And Prime Minister Skerrit will deliver the airport. By the grace of God, he will deliver it. So even if you don't be praying for the CBI to die today, you know, what we have achieved, as Prime Minister Skerrit say, to this point, what we have achieved to this point in building this airport is a major milestone. And I have no doubt we will witness the completion of it, God spare our life, in the next 2 years. So there is no space and no room for Sticky Finger and his so-called quasi UWP. You know, he should be ashamed to talk about Team Dominica. You know, there is no team. There is no united. Even after their last delegates conference there, one of the guys who were present there came and said to Dominicans on social media that the word united, he believed that you don't need to leave that out of your name. C'est pas moi qui dis ça. Big up Patela. I wasn't there. But the gentleman came and said
on social media
passionately that you see that word united. He believed that they should leave that out for now. And the reason behind him telling that to us is because he realized that there is no united going on, no unity among the UWP. The pastor with his rod go another way. You know, many of the senior people who serve that party decline from serving in any position in the party because they want nothing to do with Sticky Finger Folk did. And the kind of tongue lashing that was passing at that delegates conference, they may say.
Yeah.
That is why they say they have to leave out the so-called word united, because they're not united.
After the meeting, Simeon, there was the type of tongue lashing that went from back and forth.
So even when you hear Sticky Finger and so and them come on social media already, you saying, oh, unite, you know, team, and they even have the guts to add the word team with it too. There is no team. They're trying to see if they can bring people together. And you have Joshua Francis coming and pose, forgetting that he wanted to hash his wife with a cutlass, you know, and that the wife had to take her children and run away from him. You know, behaving like a madman, coming on the radio and pretend like he's so brilliant and he can come and all they can come together. We have their records. And at the appropriate time, we'll deal with them. But these are the people who want to come and talk about running Dominica and taking Dominica forward. Want to disturb the growth and development that is taking place in the country. Praying for outside forces to come and help them to undermine the development that is taking place in this country. Believing they can come there and do it. When many great businessmen were tested back in 1995. Great businessmen were tested, and Dominicans felt they wanted to remove the Freedom Party after 15 years because they felt that they wanted to take a chance with the UWP. Because while you had Edison James, who was big time in agriculture, manager of the BMC, you know, you had the great Julius Timothy, deceased today, Norris Prevost, who had how many, who had the biggest hardware stores
in Dominica.
They milk the man until they milk him to nothing. You know?
And his party, and he was a minister, he cooled his business.
Imagine that, you know, they milk Lawrence Prevost businesses.
Look something.
You know, when they finish milking, they milk Julius Timothy. You know, and after they finish milk Julius Timothy, they tell Julius Timothy they still don't want him to be the leader. They don't even give, after 18 years of being it, they don't even give him a chance. That is the kind of problem the European, a bunch of greedy people according to Bernard Wilshire.
Greed.
You know, so people, let's stay focused. It's 11 o'clock. Let's stay focused. Let's realize that Labour Party have the plan. Labour Party have the finance. Labour Party have the way of raising the money. Labour Party have friends, in spite of what they may say. The world have its challenges, but Prime Minister know, scared know whose door he can knock on. When triumphs and tribulations hit this land, he know where the friends are that he can rely on to help us. China have the greatest respect for Dominica because we have demonstrated that we respect the one China policy. And nobody will change that because they have been there for us. And we will always remember those who have helped us along the way to bring us to where we are. So I want to say good night to you all, and we will continue this program on Tuesday because time has come. I'm surprised I could talk tonight. I was feeling myself. But Clarence, your closing remarks.
Yes, Simeon, it's a good program. I think we will continue with this. I think the airport is a major development taking place. So for the naysayers, they saw what they saw yesterday or on Thursday, what is going on down there. The level of work, that a transformation that have taken down on its place down there is amazing. As of December 31st, 2025, Simeon, there were 417 local Dominicans working on the airport, and that does not include the truck drivers, the private truck drivers. That does not include the security persons because there's a complete security firm that is working there. So you don't pay the security individual, you pay the firm, and the firm pay the individual.
So these employees are under the firm?
These employees are under the firm.
Right.
The truck drivers, the employees of the dumpers carrying a thing and things, so that is their own. So you pay the dumper truck, the Tipper Truckers Association, one check, and they pay their people. So you do not have those records. But the record you have for the company, there were 417 local Dominicans working, paying income tax, paying social security, and paying it on time, and before time too.
Right.
So that is it. Plus, the MMCE would have its own employees working on the project, and MMCE paying them. So that is not under the company. So quite a number of persons, Dominicans, working on the project and making money. Free shift from 24/7. Every day, every hour, work is going on up there. People working, and people making money because people working and people saving.
Yeah, because millions of dollars are being paid for the salaries of all these people.
People are saving, Simeon.
Yes.
Our banks and our credit unions are washed with money. People are saving. Probably they do not have the time to spend because some of them who are probably making 2 shifts.
Yeah, because they're busy.
They're busy. So people making money.
Let's keep it that way, my
brother. So there is no way we changing. We're looking for about changing. I think so.
All the sticky finger talking about is stopping. That's how we got to go. We'll delete Mr. Name another time. Thank you again, people. It's a pleasure doing this program for you all, and we will be here on Tuesday, where we will continue the discussion. In the meantime, I want to wish everybody a wonderful night rest, a wonderful weekend. I want to say, of course, let's continue to pray for political leader Dr. Skerrit and his family. As you know, in times like this, we need to pray for our leaders. Let's pray that God will continue to guide him and protect him, give him the strength he desires to lead this country in the right direction. And let's pray for our families here, both here and abroad. You know that God will bless us. Let's pray that God will continue to protect this land from major natural disasters, because as you heard the Prime Minister say, that bearing any major natural disaster, the airport will complete by 2027.
October 27.
October 2027. So let's continue to pray like God did last year for us. He guided us from any major natural disaster. Let's continue to ask God for his guidance there. And let's let's stay positive, you know, and let's prepare ourselves for what is to come with the development of Dominica. So good night again, and thank you to all the folks on the Facebook page who join us. We know that Europe Rights always like to join us there, but we give them the good education. You know, we don't come there and train them like how they get in trained on the other station. So they get in some good vibes there. So let's thank you to all of you on social media who continue to stand in defense of the Dominica Labour Party, who stand in defense of the development of Dominica. We want to continue to thank you all for doing that. Let's all put our hands together in doing that, because we are facing those who are trying to put the wrong perception of our country outside there. And we have to defend it, especially when we know they are not telling the truth about Dominica. So bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend. And it is the carnival season, as we say. The Calypsos will be kicking off. Our guy Caressa could not be there with us tonight because, you know, he's the president of the Calypso Association. And today was the opening of Carnival, and he has an important role to play in all of that. So we want to wish Caressa well and his family a splendid good night. Senior council and family also. And as I said, we'll be with you again. So I leave you with one of our favorite song. Wherever Scary go, the people follow. And who vex, lost. You know, they have a thing saying, put it in their pipe. Ever female, well, I give you that final song. Good night, God bless you all. Yes, I. Wherever Scary go, the people follow. Yeah, man, that is the big track here. I'm living with you all tonight. Labour Party.
Down to the town, every Dominican singing the same song. Scarrow, Scarrow, Scarrow. Every single community, gather with friends and family. If you hear them chanting, singing Dominica Labour Party. Many say it's really a godsend to have a leader that cares for them, who takes the time to stand front and of the real problems, real problems. Education is the key for every single family. We build a university to uplift them, uplift them. No, regionally we stronger than most. 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 Labour Party, Dominica Labour Party. 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 Wherever Scary go, we will follow. We will follow. Wherever Scary go, we will follow. We will follow. 'Cause Labour
Wherever